following is a special presentation from E-Star Studios. Carry harder.
History is bound to be made here today, all the way in the Poker Go studio in Las Vegas, Nevada. The magic, the myth, the legend. Wait, is that Moba Zane carrying the Valley going to the studio? We'll also have promise from Team Simpsons. Are they gonna win tonight? We shall find out.
Now rocking with the legendary stunt. And it ain't over until we say it's done. You know what it is. Let's go, baby.
You know I came up from nothing. It's the sun out, you know I ain't stressing. I know you already know it.
All right, you know it's time. Today we crown a champion for the Mobile Legends Bang Bang North American Community Tournament. Let's go.
Don't stop. Fiery heart of a dragon attack is unlocking. If we stick together, we'll end up on top.
Challenge the level of a queen, but we double the damage when we're fighting as a team. Don't have to go solo, cause you're not alone. Together we are heroes.
Yo, Private, what you doing?
Selling potatoes. What else would I be doing? Strange seeing you two here.
I see you seeing all the Hangover movies.
Seriously, what's with the gloves?
Nobody touches this trophy, except for the champions.
Everybody in the car, let's go, baby! Yo, you bet I got your casters delivered to the studio safe and sound in Aria, the Poker Go studios, one and only. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the North America Challenger Tournament fall season, the finale, the grand final, the only path to M4 World Championship. But before that, wait, is that 1-1 and Selena on the stage? What's going on? Valley seems like they're ready with the cup. Lighting might be adjusted, but Simpsons, they look like they're ready for the challenge. Oh, by the way, happy Halloween, everybody. Hope you are having a fun time in studio or at home. Because look at those decorations, they're so sexy. I wish I could be in the bathtub, by the way. That seems like a cozy place to be. I mean, whew, this is gonna be a fun and long day. And after that, we need some jacuzzi. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been 2 weeks since our last online broadcast. I'm your caster and host, Assassin Dave. With me, the Man in Black, the galactic butt-kicking unit, Private and Trax. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
Well, it was a long walk through the desert, right? But we did arrive finally and on time. But it's been a long and more treacherous road for these teams, but a glorious show for the fans, the viewers, and us casters. But tonight we are at the apex of this climb, and we'll be crowning the North America champions.
That's right, North America. If you build it, they will come. We have set the groundwork. We have laid the foundation, and Moonton has provided. Tonight, we present the monumental, the historic, first ever North American Live Finals.
Ooh, absolutely. Just a quick recap on how exactly we got here to the Poker Go studio, ladies and gentlemen. We start off with over 100 teams who signed up for the NACT, out of which the top 64 teams were selected based on their average current season rank through a brutal run of double elimination in best out of one. And out of those, the Brave Souls fought each other in a fun and deadly BO1 until 32 teams remained. And now, after a single elimination, bunch of eliminations, we have finally arrived, ladies and gentlemen, in the Las Vegas, Nevada studio, the Poker Go studio for the grand final finale, best out of 7, until one team will get to go to Jakarta, Indonesia for the M4 World Championship. Oh my God, what a journey, what a show so far. Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick and rundown for today's matches. Today's matches will be best out of 7, single elimination, and in the backstage, Simpsons has already won the coin flip, but they have chosen to be the second pick in game 1. Very exciting choice. You know, every step in today's series is game changing, and every move can decide who get to pack home, who get to go to Jakarta, Indonesia. I'm excited. Now, we know how important today's match is. We got a chance to ask some of the players what they think about their chances to win today. Let's take a listen.
I think in terms of practice in America, it doesn't matter. The only thing that really defines whether we do good at M4 or not is the practice we get in Asia prior to M4. They take us seriously individually. Of course, sometimes now we have new players, they might not take the newer players seriously, but they definitely take the ones who were there at M3 very serious.
NA is in a good spot, and M4 should be fun, and we should be able to compete with the other regions too.
To go to M4 and to win it all is a very challenging thing. Before this tournament, no other team in the history of the World Cup was even at the World Cup to defend their title. So I think it'll be interesting. It's of course always going to be a struggle for any NA team that might go and qualify, but I think we'll do our best, and I think there is a possibility that getting better than third or winning is it's definitely likely. There's a chance.
People in Asia is really good. We're not gonna underestimate them.
We have to see once we get to Asia, because that's where the real practice is. They're gonna be prepared going against whoever wins the NA qualifiers.
Whoever wins here in NA, we're gonna try our best to compete to another country, especially the volley. If they won on the M4 NA, we're just gonna support them no matter what.
Well, nothing's sure until we get there, but I don't know exactly what's gonna happen there. I don't know what to expect. I've never been to Asia to compete in ML, so yeah, it's a whole new world for me.
Wow, I gotta say, North America got some good-looking players. And those are some interesting statements. Now, as a tradition for World Qualifier, we on the Casters desk have our own predictions, Rex.
You know, I really didn't want to have to do this, but I guess you guys are forcing my hand, and everyone's been asking me before this event started, the players, everyone's saying, what's your prediction? So I guess I have to do it, and it's not easy for a guy like me, but I'm gonna have to give it to the Valley tonight 4-2. Private?
Yeah, it's like asking which of your babies you love the most. We've watched the journey of these two teams, not just in the NACT, but in competition in North America this entire year. It is going to be a David and Goliath fight. Unfortunately, David does not always win, so I'm gonna have to agree with T-Rex. The Valley up 4-2.
Ooh, oh, I'm left with no choice but to play the devil's advocate, ladies and gentlemen. And I am rooting for the underdog team, Simpsons. Can they show us something different? Can they prove everybody's expectation wrong? We shall find out. Now, while we're finding out, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, I want you to take out your phone because something special, the first giveaway tonight, is about to be displayed under the table. Now, I don't have my phone with me, but use the code to redeem the glorious Zilong skin right now. Only the first 10 users can redeem the gift. That is right. Use your fanny fingers, those fast fingers, to redeem it before your Zilong loving cousin get it. This way, you don't have to play Zilong in your team. Right. And I think that's pretty exciting, to be honest.
Oh, it's definitely exciting. We love a good
matches, absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. And here we're going to take a look off the prize pool. Just a little recap. We've already given away everything from third all the way to 64. Today, we're battling over $13,000 US worth of cash and $130,000 worth of diamonds. That's a lot of cash. That's a lot of money. We know you might be thinking about the money right now and how many beef Wellington you can buy from Hell's Kitchen. But guys, I think we might have something more interesting for y'all. And that's the final roster for our grand finalists today, Trax.
All right, so taking a look at the Simpsons. I've seen them since the plane landed, and they do seem comfortable, right? They do seem ready. So we're gonna go over some of the players here. And up front of stage, we have Cole World, one of my personal favorites, coming from Gold River, California, the gold laner for the Simpsons. Right next to him, running in the mid lane, will be Eugen, living very close, coming from Las Vegas, Nevada. Not a very far bit of travel for him. And then the tank, the roam, the man, Arvel, coming from Hayward, California. And after that, we will have the jungler, Fallen, from Westminster, California. Definitely excited to see what he picks out here. And last man on the desk, number 5, Promise. I think he's gotten the most MVPs out of the team right now, running in the EXP lane. Definitely excited to see how he plays. Now, everyone is questioning whether the Simpsons are going to show up tonight, right? Everyone is wondering if they can pull this off. I would love to see it. I'd love to see them take 2-3 games, and I think if they can hold it tight, hold it together, not make any huge mistakes, they can definitely bring some game to the Valley. It's just going to be how they keep their head during this, how they keep their calm, and how they do this as a team.
Yeah, but on the other side of the stage, you already know them. On the gold lane, Coach and gold laner Basic, coming from Fairfield, California. Next up, we do have North American heartthrob Main Hoon from Las Vegas, Nevada. Next up, we have possibly one of the top roams in the world. It's been setting the standard, Super Shark from Woodwork, Oklahoma. And then next up, I mean, does he really need an introduction? MOBA Zane, the jungler from Eastport, New York. Then, of course, we have Fried Chicken, XP laner here, and one of the crucial parts of the Valley's success thus far. But man, let's talk a little bit about the Valley here. We've gone over some of the skill that they have. All-stars from all corners of the United States, basically the dream team. We're talking about skill, hero pool, the live stage experience, and then of course, what we're talking about is the rotation, time pushes, and objectives. Nobody has been able to take them off the rocker, but can it happen tonight?
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. These are your North America Challenger Tournament Grand Finalists.
That is definitely hype, Dave. Look at the crowd. Definitely going in now, taking a look at these stats. We've been looking at these, and overall, the Valley definitely winning out in kills, deaths, but there is one thing that the Simpsons are winning out, and that is pure hard damage.
Yeah, they do. They are able to, when they get together, they are able to output that amazing damage. But one thing I want to focus on is the Valley, those deaths. They don't get out of position very often. They don't rotate alone. And if they end up getting caught, the Valley is very quick to go ahead and surround and help out that player. So it's going to be something to see if the Simpsons can bring that same type of cohesion to the Valley.
Absolutely. It's about play and counterplay. It's about strategizing and counter-strategizing. I know both teams done a lot of homework on how to counter the opposition. We've seen the stats, but can they pull it off tonight? Look at the players getting ready on the stage.
You know,
this is a beautiful stage, by the way.
I gotta give it. If we're gonna call an MVP right now, Shark with that pose earlier, hitting the dab, hitting the sway. I mean, definitely, I love the energy from the players, the teams. I mean, we got a crowd right now, and it is definitely an intense thing to be a part of.
Absolutely, but every region needs its hero, ladies and gentlemen. Here in US of A, we have our world own star of the region, MOBA Zane. Let's take a look of his world stage journey so far. Here we go. We got Zane going to the mine card, the path to M4, pushing the card of the Valley, going to the mine. You know, this guy is a master of farm. He loves to farm. He's mining diamonds, right? Like, look, he's focused, he's dedicated. He wants everything into the card, the career highlight. Yeah, that's right. M3 third place. No coach, no analyst, no problem. And then pushing the card out of the entire cave is MOBA Zane, now on the path to M4.
Yeah, I mean, after that, Zane, we all know the man's a monster. It's gonna be, I think, possibly a definite strategy for the Simpsons here. It's how a lot of teams have tried to go against the Valley. It's how a lot of teams have tried to go against them, kind of target down Zane. But we also saw him one time take a lot of deaths on that Ballman early on, and the rest of the team, that was kind of the bait. Like, fine, come for Zane. We're gonna clobber you after you waste everything on him.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point when it comes to some of the mistakes. You want to make sure you're not making that against the Valley, but we're going to be jumping right into the first draft, the inaugural match between the Simpsons and the Valley.
Oh my goodness. That is a fast transition into game one. The players are ready. I was actually surprised. You know, it seemed like they were getting on, they're feeling cold, putting some jacket on. Next thing we know, they're in the match. The lightning speed is they want to show the world what they have prepared for the stage tonight. The first band coming out, are we going to see a little bit of focus from Simpsons on Valley's jungler or marksman. So we have seen it ban basic before.
I mean, right now, yeah, they're banning out some tanks for the Valley. They want to focus in onto Arvel here, take out this Atlas. And I mean, I think it's a solid start. And I think this first game, we have a best of 7. We're kind of just feeling the waters right now.
Yeah, one thing that we haven't mentioned is that we just had an update this week. So how is that going to go ahead and transform what we have as a meta here? Is it going to be a great impact? Are we going to start seeing new bans, new picks, or are we going to stick with the safer route here? With 2 teams like the Valley and the Simpsons, I think we might see something a little crazy here.
Yeah, I mean, Leo Martis, right? We talked about this. Those are the winners of the patch. Are we going to see some of those tonight with Angela? All right, the Leo Mort and Angela combo has been the historic, right? The epic, the most legendary.
Now, I think the real hot picks, and we've had the luxury of seeing a couple things in the past couple days, and I think the real things we need to keep our eyes on tonight, Dave, are that Harith and that Gushin. I think with Hoon and Eugen in this mid lane, I think it's very possible we see Gushin petrify. Maybe not immediately. Maybe it's something we see pulled out of a sleeve later on. But that could definitely be a hot pick tonight.
Yeah, one of the issues with North America is how big we are. Sometimes getting those lag issues that make players kind of shy away from those mechanically inclined heroes. Here tonight, we've seen some of the scrims. We've seen some practice. We've seen how good they can be when MS is not a problem. And man, they are gorgeous on those controls.
Absolutely. We have confirmed the players have single-digit pings in the studio. You bet we're going to see some high mechanical. By the way, we have Supreme Gushin in the house. That is Hoon, right? We might see some really interesting, really intense control over those characters. And here we got some bans. Farsa and Akai being banned out, leaving Belmont still available on the table. Now some marksmen, Melissa, Claude are still available as well. Ooh, Farmis.
No, the Farmis banned, and you mentioned Ballman. I don't know if that is going to be a prio anymore.
Yep.
He took that nerf, and this is a question we've been asking. Now, sure, Zane could probably still pull it off, but with the nerf to that and the Molten Core, is he going to be viable in the early game? And we're about to see, because first pick, the Valley on the gun, having to do this, and they bring in the Claude.
Yeah, and that was something that we had discussed, is that Belmont, if he's going to be such a priority, I'm probably going to be looking for the Simpsons maybe to pick up that XP laner here. It's become one of those counters. You don't want to put it out too early, because it's become one of those things that get countered now, especially with Esmeralda getting that most recent nerf to her. And we're wondering if we're going to still see her as a mainstay in that lane, or maybe other things, especially more mechanical ones like a Benedetta, or even just going back to the old faithful Uranus.
Oh, by the way, once you have the Claude, a lot of times we actually seen the Lunas being taken out, and that's a viable option here without being banned.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a treat. Game 1, Eugene already on that with the Grok.
I love it. I love it, Dave. This is exactly, this is what makes this NACT so much more exciting than the past games. We're getting something a little bit spicy, as I like to say. We have the Grok coming in, a beautiful front line, a beautiful engager, and we know Arvel can pull that off. And then we have Eugen on this Gushin. I'm sure it's going to be a Petrify, and I'm sure we're in some fireworks.
Oh, yeah. We've seen a little bit of a snippets of that Petrify Gushin, and we were talking about the mechanics here, and we're going to have to see what the Valley can answer here. We did talk a little bit about the Simpsons winning that first coin flip, so they wanted to be able to respond to the Valley here. So now it is the Valley's turn to go ahead, take that in stride, and respond back. And we see the Lilia and Karina coming out for the Valley.
Absolutely. I was just about to say some really, really strong early game choices. And once you have the Claude, you definitely want to make sure you have someone to carry him to those power spike, to those 3 items win condition. And sure enough, we got Lilia. All the Valley needs is a strong early game support, a roam position to really compensate for Lilia, to help with the wave clear. And then I think they're good to go. And we know Shark, in practice, they're taking out some Chow games that might be on the table as well.
Something a little bit different now, though, getting picked up. The carry in the gold lane for OSP, maybe? I mean, I'm a little questionable about it, but I want to talk about this mid lane, right? The Lilia up against the Gushin, something I don't think we've ever seen in the top 8 NACT, right? But I'm thinking that it might actually be kind of a dead even, and Gushin may not do horrible. He has the range to not have to get into the range of those glooms and still clear wave. So if he can kind of bounce around that, he could still be viable in this mid. Now we're coming into the next ban Stoic Private.
Yeah, and another thing to add on to that is that he can kind of lay in wait before he activates that ult, waiting for those black shoes to come out and then activate that ult to put on the damage onto Lilia. You can take down people so fast with it. The carry, an interesting pick. We were talking about that. I mean, depends on how Yujin does in the mid, what he's able to do to kind of rotate down to kind of support that, because that carry into a Claude, I mean, it's not the most, it's not the matchup you really want.
Yeah, and speaking of, by the way, Track, speaking of the Lilia versus the Gushin, you have the Grok really to help out with the wave clear. I think that's going to help the Gushin ease up to the level 4 where he hit the power spike and just dash around. And here we go, we got a Phoveus ban for that carry. I think it's a really, really smart ban here in this particular position because carry does need to dash around. That's the whole damage. That's the whole kit.
Yeah, both teams kind of honing in onto this EXP lane. The Phoveus taking off, then the Cho to kind of deal with Shark possibly get rid of some of that pick potential. In the Valley taking out the Benedetta, which I like. We're focused on the EXP. We want to make sure Chicken and Promise try to do as well as they can, both teams, knowing that these two characters, though in the early game, aren't as important, you could say. When it gets to that mid to late game, they are the players that carry their teams to victory and open up space for Lords, open up space for big objectives, and make space for these team fights.
Yeah, and you were talking about the Cho. We did see little inklings of Shark playing on that Cho before, and especially good against people like Gushin. You can isolate him out, pick him out before he can pick you out from the team there, as we do see now that Paquito getting taken out there. So we have our bans, and we're looking for what we're going to pick here, what Promise is looking for this next pick.
I mean, Promise is going to be important. Maybe they're going to actually pick out not Promise, but get the jungler first, and save the EXP lane really for the counter because they have the second pick. We're talking about second pick is the counter position, and this might be something they consider. Here we go, the Amon. Oh my goodness, the Assassin Overflow.
OSP really bringing in some change, really doing things a little bit differently here. Big burst damage, but here's the thing, if they can get a nice solid EXP lane to rotate and help, then maybe the squishiness of the Amon and the squishiness of this Gushin could still work out because they have some nice early game here, and then they have nice late game with the carry, so the possibilities could be there for OSP in game 1.
So what we're looking at for the Valley right now is you're gonna need some type of peel for your squishier heroes. With an Amon, with a Gushin there, they're gonna be gunning for basic, gunning for Hoon right now. And what do you have left to try and protect them? We see the Matilda and Terizla come out.
Oh my God, I don't think we've seen a single Terizla until the grand finals in NACT fall season. This is the beauty, and it looks fantastic. I think it's amazing on the side lane. There's not too much counter to it. This is just a beefy tank that has those beefy, really, really good engages if you land it. It's all about clumsiness, right? So what is a good choices to counter this Terizla on the side lane? Are we gonna see Esmeralda or are we gonna see something else?
I mean, we're wondering if the Esmeralda's still viable, right? We're wondering, she got that nerf and we haven't gotten to see her in competitive play yet. I'm sure in the right hands, she still could be decent, but he's gonna pick it up, so there it goes. This will be the answer. But the Terizla, right? I saw him in the patch notes, I see him get this slight buff and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, he was definitely broken when they revamped him and everyone was running him, then they nerfed him and they brought him down, but is this something that Chicken's had up his sleeve?
Well, and then you have to consider that slight buff to Terizla and that slight nerf to Esmeralda. Does that put them on an even playing field in the XP lane? We're gonna find out here very shortly.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to end the anxiety, sit under a palm tree, get some iced tea, and it is about to go overseas as we are about to step into game 1. What an interesting draft right off the bat, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, that was some surprise. But without further ado, I think game 1 is already underway. So let's quickly jump into the Land of Dawn.
Yeah, this is it. This is what sets the tone for the rest of the night. If you can get a victory here, you will have that momentum rolling into the rest of the day. It's going to be game 1 here, the Valley taking on the Simpsons.
All right, so there's a few things we have to set up front, right? Now, we look at the side of the Simpsons, and it does seem a little bit squishier, maybe even a little bit less mobility than the Valley. So I think the Simpsons need to be careful in these early stages. They need to also be able to focus in onto this gold lane. But if they can take these early stages and get Eugen where he needs to be, there's no escape. There's no escape for Basic with that claw. The BMI is not going to help you. You know, he's going to be able to dash in and get those pickoffs. But wait a second.
You see Fly Chicken already putting on the boots to Arvil there as well. He was already cutting the lane, and there really wasn't much that the Simpsons could do to stop it. You see him still up there trying to cut the lane. And now we see Shark coming in here to put on a little bit of offense onto there to let them know that he is in their jungle.
Yeah, Eugen possibly in some trouble here, and this is what the Valley needs to do. They just need to be aggressive. They need to do what they always do and try to shove into the Simpsons' face.
Nice wall there. We are starting things off quite early. Eugen already able to take a kill off of Shark there. We are continuing on the pressure, picking up that gold lane, but you see over in the mid lane, Eugen, a lot of damage gets taken out by Fly Chicken.
That is a hype start to this match, Private. It's 1-1 on the board. Gold at a slight lead over to the side of the Valley. Fallen is stealing some camps right now, and Turtle's going to be up in about 30 seconds. And I think right now, the Valley maybe wants to back off. They need to be careful for Eugen. The damage, we're seeing it. We're seeing the possibilities of this Gus. So now they know, all right, maybe we can't be as aggressive as we were.
Yeah, I mean, even that, I mean, you've got these two assassins just putting on a major amount of damage here, but they need to keep that pressure on, because once you lose that momentum, once you start taking deaths or making mistakes, right here, another, Promise Scott gets away just in time. We have the Turtle coming up here in 2 seconds. We're trying to zone them out. Super Shark here trying to maintain some vision, pulling the Turtle over to his side. We see a wall come out there, very nicely placed by Arvel as well. Eugen coming down here does go ahead and land that onto Hoon. 4 players for the side of the Valley. We don't see enough here from the Simpsons, so I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get it here. We're still buying it up there. It does look like it's going to take and be picked up by Mobazane.
You know, I think Fallen just made the decision. He stayed by the blue buff. He's like, I'm not going to go for it. There's 4 of them. We had Promise back at base right then, and it was a smart play, I think. We don't want to force this. And this makes us feel kind of good for the Simpsons, but the Valley, they definitely have the aggression. And with Shark, I mean, the Matilda, it's been a signature pick of his for a very long time. He takes a mobility hero, and you ask for peel, and not everyone knows how to use the Matilda as peel, but he makes it work so well. From engage to disengage to saving your life with that guiding, with the circling eagle. I mean, he makes it happen for the team.
I mean, looking at the map here, how many times have you seen somebody outcut a lane on an Esmeralda? We're seeing that right now with Fried Chicken. A little bit of a standoff here in the mid lane, but both teams gonna go think better about this engagement.
I gotta say, I like the fact that they're both taking it very slow. We're at 3 minutes now, right? So, I mean, they're moving in. No one making any huge plays. They know lots on the line here. To set the stage, I mean, everything is on the line here. And like you said, it's one game. Wait a second, Fly Chicken.
Yeah, Fly Chicken in a little bit of trouble. Just get popped up there. We do see the damage coming down here. He is able to flicker out of the way, and now they might be in a little bit of trouble as Eugen gets taken out there. Mobazane down for the count, and both teams gonna go ahead and separate here. It is a 1 death apiece for both teams.
1 for 1 for 1 for 1. They are going, and Eugen almost getting chicken a beautiful flicker, but in the end, Mobazane goes down. Now, up in this gold lane, for a second it seemed like Cold World was possibly getting better, but now that we've gotten a little bit more into this game, we're definitely seeing Basic come out on top, but I think this could be a problem for the Simpsons if they don't start focusing up there. They need to do something about Basic, because that blazing duet is going to hurt a lot when we get into the end game.
Speaking of which, we have 3 members of the Valley. Cold World actually might be in trouble here. We do see that Circling Eagle does land onto it, and taken down is Cold World without a response from the Simpsons.
Yeah, and they're going to get that gold plating. Simpsons do decide to go for the turtle. It's a nice turtle cam there, so we're going to see what's happening down here.
Yeah, they are going ahead and starting on it. Not able to make anything happen. In comes Fried Chicken with that penalty zone. Fallen actually taking a decent amount of damage. Is able to get out of the way, but Eugen able to clean up Fried Chicken. We see Mobazane coming in with that Shadow Assault, able to take down Eugen and the rest of the Simpsons trying to disengage. Basic picks up the turtle. Fallen goes down. Next is Arvo on the chopping block. Promise is not long for this world. Gets taken down as well. It is 4 players from The Simpsons down.
You know the crowd has chills right now. I have have chills right now, and this is the thing about the Valley time and time again. It seems even. It seems like sometimes maybe even they're losing, but you get into this mid-game and they find that one moment and they just take a huge lead. And now we're looking at what? 17 to 13, a nice gold lead for the side of the Valley. Now we are gonna have a quick promo coming up, so make sure you get your phones out, type in the code. It's only for the first 30 or the first 9 users. Make sure you use that in the redeem link in the description.
And 9 is not a lot, so have some fast fingers there. We are still seeing at the mid lane a lot of pressure, even at 2v3 right now. The gold about 4K in the favor of the Valley right now, only at about the 5-minute mark here. So the Valley really has to come together here if they don't want to get overrun and snowballed.
Yeah, they definitely gotta do something in that. I mean, the whole time the gold has been slowly going up. It stayed kind of at a standstill, but once that big maniac happened, the Valley is now just taken off. So the Simpsons now definitely on a back foot. Luckily, Cold World only has the 1 death, and taking a look at some of these items, Amon has brought in that magic wand, possibility to do some damage, but the Valley doesn't want to give them any space.
Ooh, we see a wall come out, does separate Shark from the rest of the team, but he is going to be able to find himself an exit from that fight. So they are still trying to put on the pressure here, still trying to kind of find that momentum, the Simpsons are, especially with the Valley. Right now, 7-3, we're starting to hit that point when they start snowballing into it. Hoon! Ooh! We do see the endless charge land onto him, and he gets cleaned up by Fallen. But up at the top, they're able to pick up a tower. Argo in trouble. Here comes the Blazing Duet, staying just outside the range of that inhibitor tower. Fly Chicken putting on the damage onto Promise as well. And, I mean, they're in a little bit of trouble here. Promise trying to protect this tower as much as he can. Here comes the Falling Star Moon now as well, getting a little bit of shield there, feeding off of it, and only one more minion left here means that this tower is going to survive.
I mean, Promise is doing a good job, right? He's tanky enough to be able to sit there in between 3 members. Also down at the Valley's orange buff, we are seeing Fallen trying to get the steal there, right? So they're being a little proactive. Even though they're falling a bit behind, they're being proactive on the map, and there still are opportunities. Now, we looked at those items a second ago, and Shark, first thing he picks up is that Athena shield. And I mean, now we're already seeing Eugen not doing a whole lot, and if the rest of the team can just pick that up, that Gushin could become possibly useless.
Yeah, we see that Mobazan able to pick up that turtle without any type of reaction, or I mean, not a response from the Simpsons. There's very little that they can do. We see the wall shot coming out there, does pop up 2 members. Endless Charge comes out the start. He does survive. There goes the black shoes as well. Cold World trying to get away. Just a sliver of health left. Fallen goes down there. Here comes the Falling Star Moon. Cleans up Shark, but he does not make it out. Promise goes down there. We do see the penalty zone coming onto Eugen there, and he gets cleaned up quite quickly, and another tower going over to the Valley.
That is definitely a rough start. And not a rough start, but a rough middle game. We're starting to see the Valley catch more and more of their momentum. And the Simpsons trying to find answers, right? We had a nice wild charge from Arvel there. Taking a look at the replay. Gets everyone up. Eugen, the damage just isn't starting to be there. And the Endless Charge just doesn't get the finish. And those are those small things the Valley always seems to slide away with. 1 HP getaways. And Promise trying to get something. I don't know if that was a good or a bad play, but he plays the price for 1 hero. And White Chicken now has a space to clean up Eugen, but they are still just going at it as the Valley continues to invade and take away from the Simpsons.
And yeah, we were talking about this earlier. This is the price you pay with a composition like this. Once you start getting behind, it is very hard to catch up, even when you make the right plays. A perfect wild charge pops up the Valley, but you don't have the damage anymore. You don't have the momentum on your side. Even with Promise coming on from the side with that Falling Star Moon, it wasn't enough to take down the Valley. This next tower going over to them as well. They are putting on the pressure. You see the Simpsons trying to back off here, trying to defend this inhibitor tower. We still have 1 more tower down at the bottom before we are left with only inhibitors. And the shards coming out. It is not enough to take down Fly Chicken. He is just so thick on that Terizla.
Definitely a thick boy, we got to say. Chicken definitely doing amazing in this game, but Lord is up, as we can see on the screen, and Looks like the Valley's going to go for this, and I'm wondering, are the Simpsons going to try to contest this?
Yeah, it's a very risky move when you're so far behind. You got to think about, do you want to just try something or kind of play it safe? And now we see the circling eagle does land onto Arbor, who's going to be able to get out of the way with that wild charge. And thankfully, the Simpsons don't take a kill there, but that Lord goes over to the Valley.
You know, I gotta say, that circling eagle, for a second you think, all right, Shark, what are you doing? You're going a little too deep. Are they gonna catch you? But the reality is that's the bait. That is the bait, and the Simpsons did not bite there, so you gotta throw a little respect for them, right? Because you had Mobile Zane in that bush right behind you. You had the rest of the team right in that bush right behind, and they're like, yeah, try to take Shark real fast. Try to use all your skills on him, because we are gonna clean you up after that. And the Simpsons decide to keep it safe. We're not gonna fall for those mistakes right now. You can have a couple jungle buffs here. We're gonna try to defend for this Lord and bring this to the end game.
Yeah, we see Eugen gonna have to expend that flicker. Arville coming in here is taking a heap of damage, is gonna be able to get away. We see the Lord bounding its way to the top. Minions at the mid and bottom lane. They're definitely gonna be able to pick up that bottom tower. Here comes the engagement. Now Eugen takes a heap of damage. Mobazane with that Shadow Assault able to get himself back to safety on the outside of that wall. And here comes the Lord at the top. Full health, putting on the damage to this tower. You wouldn't even think it was a non-luminous Lord, as they are able to make the most of it, and they are pushing in with it. Here comes the penalty zone. They are pushing in onto the Simpsons. Down goes Arville. Fallen is able to get back to safety. We are putting damage onto this core right now. Down goes Fallen. Promise follows closely behind, but Mobazane and Coleworld trade and go down.
Eugen!
Wow! Look at the Simpsons able to defend here with about 1/3 of health left on this core.
What just happened, Private? What? I was about to call it. I was like, GG! But the thing is, this Eugen gets back on the map just in time, and the burst damage did come in clutch there. The tower shots started connecting. The Valley thought they had it, and the Simpsons lived to see another day.
However, I mean, did they really lose anything there? They got all the way down to one inhibitor tower. They have such a lead that it wasn't even that detrimental for them. We're talking about a 6K gold lead still, even with an almost full team wipe on the side of the Valley. So while the Valley might have gotten a little greedy there, maybe it just was one of those the prices that they knew they would have to pay if they wanted to try to close this early, and not really much that the Simpsons could do to kind of combat it. Because even look here now, they're still being pushed back. They have no ownership over their jungle. They're being cleaned out and are not able to get the gold back.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be an easy road if they want to come back. And like you said, yes, you can. All that sacrifice, totally worth it. You have both of these inhibitors now. You have the base down to 50%. It will heal up, but you have pretty much a guarantee on this next Lord, unless the Simpsons can do something really cheeky, something really sneaky, which they do have the Assassins to possibly do that, but the Valley is known to not make mistakes. Now, Simpsons are zoning. They're playing the field right here, but I got a feeling they're kind of falling into the Valley's hands. Look at Mobazane. Look at Shark. They're on this map. They're ready to keep them at bay, and the Simpsons know they can't stay that long. They have to approach this very, very carefully.
And just look at the macro. They go ahead, make sure that Fly Chicken is pushing the bottom while they're setting up for this Lord. So not only do you have to contend and decide whether you want to take this Lord, but now you have minions pushing at the bottom. So now you got a time limit on how much you can fight here and make something happen. You see them kind of putting on some damage, vying for position here. 1/3 health left on this Lord. Eugen doesn't get caught up there. Oh, and that Lord does go to Mobazane right now, and they are chasing. Down goes Fallen. Coldwell follows closely behind now. They are putting on the damage. They're not trying to let them go. Hoon gets taken down again. Eugen, though, follows behind. It is a 3-for-2-1 trade right now. Arville's trying to make it to safety as the rest promise here, trying to put on the damage. Is it going to be enough? Trying to get that shield, that regen. Oh, he's down to about 10% health. It's just Arville left here between a Lord and 4 other members of the Valley. 10% left, and this is game 1 going over to the Valley.
Yeah, I mean, a good game. We went 14 minutes. The Simpsons, in the beginning, put up an amazing fight. I think a lot of us were questioning if their nerves were going to kick in, and in my eyes, I didn't think they felt that nervous in their gameplay. The Valley do take game one, and they did it cleanly. They did it in the Valley fashion, right? They just farmed in those first few minutes, and then they find that spike, and they nail it in around that 7-minute mark.
And that is what makes the Valley so dangerous for some of the teams here in North America, is because they know what needs to be done. They're crisp on it, and there's very few mistakes made by them, especially that last Lord there. But we're gonna go ahead and take a look at some of the stats here.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. MOBA Zane. The man got a Maniac at minute 6, and just from there on, it was GG's. I mean, did an amazing job. In The Simpsons, we were wondering how the Gus was gonna do, right? How the Gushin was gonna do, and I felt like in the beginning, it did good, but once some of that magic defense came in, look at all those Athena shields. I mean, literally almost everyone on 3 of the 5 members have Athena shields. The rest all have some sort of magic defense. It looks like Hoon was even starting to work on one himself. So that's all they really needed. And then Eugen couldn't really do that much.
Yeah, and that was the smart play kind of put into a path there by banning that Benedetta. And I think that was a core feature there for the Valley, because if you'd had that Benedetta, you would have had a mixed amount of damage that you would have had to come out against. But here, all you needed was the Athena shield for 2 of the great early game damage that you were going to be facing.
Yeah,
so, I mean...
so much magic damage, right?
Yeah.
Like the whole team, like that was probably a definite mistake there. A big mistake on that magic damage.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. You have Gushin and Mon in the same team. I mean, Radiant Armor, that's it. GG WP. Let's take a look at the replay of first game. It started off with Simpsons getting the first blood, but quick rotation there from Chicken was able to shut down the early aggression and able to take Eugene down. I think from that point on, the whole tide shifted for the entire game. Look at the bottom lane dive. You know, it's so systematic. If Shark step in the front, tank the damage, and everybody else is follow up and take the entire kill on to that Esmeralda. And this is a beautiful play by Eugene, actually, to show you the power of the mechanic there on the player. But unfortunately, it's not able to change the overall outcome of the game. The final lore just rush into the base. Arville all alone, so lonely, so sad. Not able to do too much as the tower goes down. And ladies and gentlemen, the game 1, just like that, goes to the Valley.
And a great game, and definitely excited to see how the rest of it goes. I mean, after seeing that, I think it's a great start to this best of 7.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what we can adjust for the Simpsons to kind of combat here. And even with that last Lord fight we were talking about, it just how tight the mechanics were and the macro were by the Valley to make sure that they had something pushing, even though they kind of really didn't need it. They 5v5. There's not really much that the Simpsons were going to be able to do during that fight, but still had the forethought. Let's do this correctly. Let's make sure that these lanes start syncing up, and then just a masterful play to the end.
That's the fundamentals for Team Valley that they have mastered, right? You can count on them to show up textbook style, do everything properly. The highlight for me in the particularly in game 1 was really the fight next to the bottom turtle pit, where you have Mathilda kind of pulling Zane to the side, and then Chicken taking down 1 HP, able to survive with the flicker. Beautiful execution there. And they were to turn the whole tide around, get a Maniac on Zane. That was insane, such beautiful executions. A lot of people say, oh, Chicken and Zane has this wonderful synergy. My actual focus for Team Valley is Shark and Zane's synergy. That was just beautiful to watch.
Shark's always been a monster. And if you guys didn't notice, MOBA Zane was the MVP of that game. They just had his KDA up and everything on the screen. And I think he definitely deserved it. The man did monstrous, but you're right, he couldn't have done it without Shark. He couldn't have done it without the team. And to talk about Chicken a bit, that penalty zone, that Turizla,
ooh,
it was looking pretty clean. We were wondering about it, nobody's talked about it, but they definitely brought it in, and it did wonders. Every time I saw that penalty zone come in, I was like, oh God, here we go again. And the damage was there, the sustain was there. Is Turizla back?
Yeah, we're gonna find out.
Absolutely, and ladies and gentlemen, here we go. It's the MVP slate off the game 1. MOBA Zane, let's take a look of the bio.
Yeah, so Mobazane, hometown, East Northport, New York. His favorite character will be Simpsons. Sadly, he hasn't been able to get to play that since about M3, right? Sadly, he hasn't been able to do that for a long time, but his hero pool has just grown so much since M3, and he's learned so many more heroes in that jungle role. It's been such a great thing to see his evolution.
Yeah, and that was one of the things. He went from somebody who forced his own meta into M3 to now adjusting to it, and not just adjusting, but mastering it here in North America.
Yeah, absolutely. He was a Granger main, Saber main, Granger main, and then play Hellcurt for a lot of time. And by the way, every single hero, every single character Zane got his hands on, he was Supreme in for North America. And I think he was US, I think the world top 2, top 1 for a lot of characters that he played, including Granger, including Carry, and a lot of those marksmen. And now he have evolved, adapted into the current tank meta jungle. I mean, this player is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, and that wasn't an easy change, I think, for him. I think it was you really had to bite your lip and be like, all right, I'll play Kai jungle. All right, I'll play Ballman jungle. You know, whatever I got to do because I want to win. It just shows the determination because you see a lot of teams, they don't do it, right? A lot of teams, they don't want to adapt, but Zane had no problem because his eyes are on the prize right now.
Which is very weird too now, because now that you think about it, the big shining point for Zane has always been the farming. And that was what let him get to those some of those marksmen farmed up originally. But now that we're in the tank meta, where farming is so much more important, those objectives are so much more important for the team. He might, well, I mean, that game he was a little bit more flashy, but we've seen throughout the tournament that he can also kind of pull back on the reins, do the job he needs to for those objectives, and that's something that the Simpsons are going to have on their mind.
You know, what impressed me the most, I know we're talking about Zane a lot, but it's just the fact this guy is a farming monster. You know, like he played hyper carry jungle, he farmed so well. He played tanks jungle when the farm's supposed to go to the goal lane, he still farms so well. Where does he get all this farm? Right? He's always like 3-2 levels on average ahead of the enemy jungler.
Maybe it's Shark.
Maybe
you know,
it's
and we were
Shark.
talking about that. I think we were talking about that yesterday. I was saying, like, you know, Zane, yes, that's the thing about the Valley and Zane in general. And even when everything seems even, somehow they always keep like a 2,000 gold lead across the board. Even when they're down 2 deaths, they keep a gold lead on the board. And it just doesn't make sense. And the thing is Zane has amazing pathing, but also Shark, Basic in the gold lane, and Hoon and Shark in the mid, they always get those waves clears. Their rotations of not just ganking, but wave management in that laning phase and making sure we get these last hits, making sure we get every single minion, and even denying the enemy teams of minions is how they do it so well.
And ladies and gentlemen, we got more stats on the desk to show you guys. As you can see right here, displaying on screen, that's going to be Fallen, the opposition jungle from Team Simpsons Private. Run us through those stats.
Yeah, you can already see here, 3.0 KDA on him, 35k damage here with a rating of 8.67 here. So, I mean, doing an all right job, but when you're facing those overwhelming, and from the beginning, those overwhelming snowball coming down on you, there's not much you can do to kind of help with your team. You're just forced to watch and wait for an opening, and an opening is not something you see too often from the Valley.
Yeah, they just don't give you. And sometimes even when you have the opening, Shark just jumped in with a skill 2. Poof. The guy's gone. Right? It's like a magic show. I mean, I know we're in Vegas, but it might be too early. You know, we're still just in the afternoon right now. And Shark brings the magic to the NACT table.
I also want to mention that Terizla, right from the beginning, Fried Chicken already cutting lane. Didn't even wait for that first wave, already in the back trying to cut that lane, making sure that that Esmeralda was not going to be a factor for the Simpsons.
Not only that, but I mean, another issue that the Simpsons had, right? That Amon, he wasn't able to pull the magic off, right? Every time he had some amazing damage. Fallen, his I mean, 35k in a game where you lose is pretty decent, right? So, and he was bursting everyone down, but he just couldn't get the finish. And that's what happens when you fall a little bit behind on a burst hero like that. You're just not able to get the finish, but here we go, Dave.
Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to fasten our seatbelt because we're jumping into the second game of Ben Draft.
Oh, I am so excited. I mean, yes, Simpsons had a little bit of an issue, maybe getting a tiny bit out-drafted. Just that little play, banning a Benedetta, making sure that the only recourse that you had was to pick another magic damage. So, gonna see what the Simpsons able to answer with here.
I mean, they have to do something here, right? So the Simpsons gonna not do anything too crazy, not target ban up front. They're going to take out the Dekai, and I think it's still, whether he used it or not, the Dekai's assault ban, because Shark or Zane can use that. Can be viable for so many roles. The Valley going to take out that 1-1, continuing to ban that out against Promise.
And by the way, I just love the fact Shark has a hand warmer in his hand. By the way, the studio is fantastic. And as the players are so relaxed, they're ready for their tournament. You don't see a single bit of stress, on these players, right? Like everybody, even on Simpsons, when we capture some of the players, I think everybody's excited to be here. It's such been a fantastic event. Before the tournament, we have everybody's hanging out in the studio. Oh my goodness. But coming back to the draft, this is the tank focused. Look at this, Atlas, Akai, what's going on here?
Well, I mean, you have these picks that can sometimes, especially when it comes to setting potential. Maybe on the Akai side, we were talking about something that can upset you kind of going in and engaging as well. So they're trying to take those tools away from Shark. And especially with Akai, not only on Shark, but on MOBA Zane, who's shown that he can use that to kind of zone out the rest of them to a degree I have never seen when it comes to some of these objectives. We do see the Valentina. I mean, I don't know if we're ever going to see another Valentina game because she is just, they have been nerfing her, and she still has been just so powerful and just changes so much of the landscape for these matches that it's just safer to ban her out than making a complete composition around her.
I mean, looking at these bans, you can definitely see which teams, like who we're worried about, right? OSP really focusing in on Zane and Shark. On the side of the Valley, they want to focus in on Eugen and Cold World. We know that Cold World has carried games in the past. We know his gold lane can do well. And even in the last game where the matchup was a little iffy for him, he was able to perform well against Basic. And I mean, seeing Eugen on the Gus last game, you definitely don't want to let him on a Valentina.
Ooh. Yeah, Valentina, this character, just the fact that you can copy everybody's ultimate, like go at your will, and it just shows you the power of the queen. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You saw the cup, right? The trophy, the NACT trophy. That's right. I think it's the most beautiful trophy in my opinion, right? Like, dude, after the tournament, try to go hold it. That baby is.
I mean, you saw me. I was holding it in the desert. It's heavy. It's heavy, guys. It's a very, very
Track's got it here.
Trophy.
A beauty matched only by this beautiful Poker Go studio here that we have the players in right now. We do see a little bit of maybe kind of a focus band down for Zane. We take down that Karina, and that might be part of the game plan. You really just do not want to have that out, especially with when you give Zane the option of playing somebody who can get that damage. But yeah, it leaves open that Faramis.
Okay, with that being said, that means Lilia is still on the table. And we also have Grok. Now, Alice being banned away. Grok and Lilia all of a sudden seems really good right now. It's also a really good option to counter Faramis.
Speaking of Grok, there's your Grok, but we're gonna not go for the Lilia right away. We're gonna make sure Basic gets secured again, especially with the Claude being banned out this time. All right, we know they're gonna kind of go for Basic a bit this time, possibly in the draft. Let's make sure we pick something up for him. So we pick up the Melissa. Now the Faramis, though. The Faramis. Is that going to be the game-changing pick private for the Simpsons?
For me, it's not even so much the Faramis, it's having Shark on this Grok. What this tells me is we're going to need some type of vision. We're going to need to make sure that we're checking those bushes. We need to know where Shark is at all times because his ability to close the distance for some of those wild charges is immaculate. It's crisp, it's sharp, and you're going to see it here. I guarantee you're going to see it here. Some of those flicker wild charges in to get the sets on the team members there. 2, 3, 4, but we're going to see it answered here now. Arville going to go ahead and pick up Matilda and then Cold World on that Beatrix.
Ooh, Beatrix, the character that can really do well against someone like Melissa because all your skills are out of range, right? You're not really afraid of the go away kind of ultimate, right? You're already away, You're from a distance doing your damage, and I think it's a really nice pick. And guys, now Lilia is still available. I like the fact that they're not picking it up. They are going for the Paquito. Understand they have the Grok. They really have the option for their mid-lane choices here.
Yeah, and I mean, even the Paquito, they have a lot of options with that as well. We know Chicken can do great on the XP lane, or we can end up giving it to Zane. So they're leaving themselves open right before this next phase of drafts come in, which is really smart. Now, looking at this Faramis and this Matilda, a lot of movement, right? A lot of mobility, but also a little bit squishy in these early early stages and knowing how the Valley likes to be so aggressive, is that the choice we want to make? Yes, they can get the vision, but they have to be careful about it, right? Because Shark doesn't just, he doesn't just attack with that wild charge. He'll sit in a bush and wait for you to walk in. You really have to have all eyes on him because he is not just that engager, he is the ambusher.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing to see here because we're going to need something to kind of counteract that. One thing as well here too, Eugen with that Shadow Stampede, if he gets it onto basic and basic activates that go away, you're bringing that go away closer and offsetting your team there. So it's very interesting picks here. I feel like TV sometimes are on a different level when it comes to just thinking outside of the box, outside of just the meta, to these little things that nobody would have ever thought of when it comes to counterplay and counter picks. We do see Lilia, it wasn't picked up and probably was going to, getting picked off there, and then another Benedetta ban by the Valley.
Ooh, interesting bet. Farsa being taken out as well. They're really targeting the mid lane, knowing that you have the Grok, right? We have a lot of choices, and taking out a Farsa can take away the threat to Faramis. It seemed like OSP Team Simpsons, they are thinking about the next step. Now, they have quite a bit of choices here. I think what they need to do is obviously get those really, really good jungler, right? And to be honest, they don't have a lot of choices. What do you think they're going to go with jungle here?
For the Simpsons, we could go something crazy like what we saw last time, maybe an Assassin, maybe an Amon, if they want to stick to that. I don't know if that's the best choice, but hold on a second, because Hoon just picked up the Goosh. And now to anybody watching, just to let you know, that ban that's not on the screen, that is not a mess up by production team. They decided not to do that ban. I don't know if it was purposeful in a sense of we want to leave more open for ourselves, or maybe a jab in the stomach, a mental game for the Simpsons.
Amazing thing here, if you look Gusion up in the Mobile Legends dictionary, you're going to see a picture of Hoon there. So this is something you need to worry about, especially, I want to say you have two characters, especially in that mid lane with a Shark on the Grok, Hoon on this Gusion. You're going to have a fast clear, you're going to have fast rotations, and then that mechanical ability from Hoon to be able to support those side lanes very quickly, even if you fall behind on some of those side lanes. So, oh man, look at these next picks.
Oh, how can we forget about the Barats? And I have to say something about Promise Lapu. Last time when they're in the loser bracket finals, he's Lapu 1 versus 9. Everybody saw it. It was just so good. And today we're going to see Lapu on the stage going onto the side lane. Oh, is that a Grok on the side?
Yes, that is a Grok in the EXP. The Valley getting very, very interesting here, and this is why we love Mobile Legends, right? This is what we're waiting for. We're hoping to see some amazing picks. We're hoping to see some big changes with these patch notes, and they have brought it to us. But I want to talk about OSP now. I was a little worried about the squishiness, but they bring in the Barats, and that could help withstand Eugen and the burst damage, could help withstand any possible invades that they bring. That paired up with the Matilda, because Barats is a little bit slow, you can get him around the map a bit faster, get him into the midst of your enemy, and possibly make the game in your way.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready for the second game, actually, make sure to share the stream with your friends. Without further ado, let's jump in and land it up.
All right, guys, this will be it. This is game 2. The Valley going up against the Simpsons. The Valley holding game 1. Can the Simpsons turn this around here?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting here as well. That switch up at the end for Flied Chicken to get on the Grok. A little bit of a 4 or 5 head strategy there by the side of the Valley. We're starting off now. We're going to go ahead and put a decent amount of damage onto that red buff. Help out Mobazane to kind of keep up. Did he? Was he able to get it? No, he wasn't. Not against Mobazane.
Too quick. Now, did you see all of them though were paired up at that orange buff? Literally 4 members sitting there. I think they were waiting for an invade, waiting like, we think they're going to come for us. But that did maybe set them behind a little bit. The rest of the team lose some of that laning phase.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and set up Athos with the Wanderer here. Mobazane still able to clean that up quite quickly. And just right now, you're starting to see Shark. He's pressing his advantage. But the thing here is we're going to have a great setting potential by the Valley. You're going to have that Numenon Blast. You're going to have that wild charge. So much CC from the side of the Valley. And what are the Simpsons going to be able to do against that? You're going to have a Cult Alter, but once you get back up, I mean, you still got more CC you're worried about.
You know, every time I see that target land on someone from Hoon, I see that knife hit the enemy, I get nervous because I'm like, oh, is he about to engage? Is this about to be it? And honestly, like, you have to be a little bit nervous, and a possible engage. Shadow Stampede does lock onto Hoon, brings him down to about 50%, but nothing too major. Here comes Mobazane, though, into the mid lane as well, along with Shark. And you mentioned it, Shark can definitely be a threat on this Lolita.
Yeah, Fly Chicken just doing a decent amount of damage, holding his own against this Lapu. And I mean, you can't even really gank that lane, especially if Fly Chicken has a wild charge up. So you're kind of limiting what you can do there. So I'm kind of wondering why even focus on it. We see a little bit, I was about to say a little bit of engagement up at the top, but down at the bottom, we do see Basic and Cole going at it, but now we're starting on this first turtle.
This turtle, Shark is trying to make pace with it, but Simpsons are holding down strong. Zane coming in, the wall is out. Shark does not make the play, but Fallen takes turtle. Nice wild charge. Woo! Out comes the Daytona's welcome. Does not lock on, but is a battlefield. Numenon Blast lands, and the Simpsons able to take out Fly Chicken. Valley now on the run. Simpsons take first blood once again.
Yeah, first blood.
Wait a second. Arvel deleted. Hoon picks that up.
Yeah, Hoon answering back. You can never take a breath around the Valley. Even when you get that first kill, you need to be on your tippy. Oh my God, look at that damage onto Basic.
The crowd, you can hear them. We're in a booth right now, but we can hear the crowd yelling right now every time these big plays happen, and I know they hear too. So, Cold World maybe feeling himself a little bit right now.
Yeah, oh man, another engagement.
Arvel needs to try to get away, able to flicker away. Hoon goes a bit too deep. In comes Numenon Blast to help hold them at bay. Yujin decides not to force the engage, but they are going at it.
What foresight by Yujin, gets that Shadow Stampede onto Shark, pulls him out of the Numenon Blast. That was just a great play. That, I mean, man, it just seems so underappreciated with all that's going on. Just gonna be those little things. And if the Simpsons can keep this up, we might start seeing a little bit more momentum flowing in their favor.
Yeah, Fallen coming down to this bottom lane, gonna help clear it, give Cold World as much of an advantage as possible. Now, Beatrix, right? Beatrix has got a little bit of a buff again, but still not, takes a little bit more time. But if Cold World can get that time and farm up, we know what Beatrix can do. Now, wait a second. Mobazane, Yujin goes down. A nice pick for Mobazane there. Fallen trying to find something, clear out this mid wave, but the Valley finally answering back strong.
Yeah, an amazing thing too, you do take down Yujin, but at this point, Yujin does have enough stacks from that passive to come right back in. Maybe might want to be able to save those. I mean, you don't want to get caught out like that before an objective comes up, because that's when it matters the most. Take Yujin out during the objective, he comes right back when we have a fight at the turtle.
That's a little bad. We do see some big burst damage onto Arvel there, but the turtle is still on the side of the Simpsons. The Valley waiting for Zane to clear out this blue buff, but Fallen has already arrived. They still need to watch for Shark, though. He does have that Numenon Blast ready to go. Here comes Mobazane looking for a spot to come in. He comes in, steals the turtle with ease, but now they're coming after Mobazane. He's going to try to run away here. Does not get hit by the knockback, and Mobazane takes it and walks away like a thief in the night. Promise annihilated from Hoon. Simpsons trying to pick up the pieces from where they've fallen. They're trying to find something, looking for an answer, but the Numenon Blast is about to land, and the Cult Altar will not be enough. Chicken able to walk away, and the Simpsons forced to regroup.
1 and 3 in favor of the Valley right now. Simpsons can feel this slipping. Oh, Cold World. Oh, trying to get away. Oh, he's not going to be able to get away from Mobazane, but we do see that circling eagle come down.
Mobazane taking a bit of damage there. They want to try to get him. Can they get the slow? He's able to get away. He's so slippery. They want him so bad, but they just can't do it. Arvel is keeping eyes, and Arvel has been giving great vision to his team, but still, right now, not enough.
Yeah, I mean, it just, that is the cohesion, the synergy that you see from those types of teams.
Yeah, most definitely a little bit of a problem, but I'm thinking the Simpsons aren't completely out of it just yet. Not too far behind in gold, right? Only 1,000, doing a little bit better than last game.
Yeah, our Fly Chicken doing his best, warding away Promise here right now. 1-4 game, and about not that big of a goal lead. Simpsons still in it, still alive, but they need to have an answer because I feel like the later and later we get into this game, the more and more those sets, those wild charges, those Numenon blasts are going to come into play here.
Oh, wait a second. Moon on to Promise. Promising damage. Promise picked off the map, and these are the picks we were talking about. These are the problems the Simpsons need to find answers to. They can't keep letting teammate after teammate die across the map.
Yeah, and right now it does feel like they're playing a little bit of catch-up. Just moments away from some of these rotations. Another fight at mid!
Blast gonna land. Shark able to get it onto Eugen. Cold Alter comes out. Eugen still not able to get away. Eugen goes down. Shark picks up the kill. Zane gonna move on to this blue buff now as Arvel continues to get vision, but there is some first towers going down on both off lanes for the side of the Simpsons. Arvel taking a bit of tip damage here. Cold World has entered the fray here, ready to play. The turtle is up. Both teams going to try to battle out for this basic. Zoning away, but a nice pick on Eugen. Cold World goes down. Circling Eagle comes out onto Fly Chicken. Can they get the finish? They want him. Zane here as well. Promise goes down, and Ruin now Fallen at least gets the turtle. It's a 2-for-1, but a turtle goes to the Simpsons.
Yeah, and unfortunately I see a lot of damage going on to Fly Chicken. And that's kind of the problem here when you have these two tankier players on the team there. Because, I mean, you're putting damage onto like Grok. And even though he's low, in the time that you're putting all this damage onto Grok, you could be focusing on another character, a little bit more squishier, that you could get down a lot faster.
And right now, the Simpsons in a very tight spot. Still not as bad as game one. They have gotten a little bit better here, but wait a second. Hoon looking for something. Goes back in Arvel. In the midst of everyone, though, Cold Alter comes out. It's a bait. Hoon has bitten, and he pays the price for that one. Going a little bit too deep. They did that very, very well.
Yeah, we need to see more of that. We see the Valley kind of coming up here. Fly Chicken throwing out that wall. Eugen could be able to pull him over. He is not, especially with that passive from the Grok. Good thought. Unfortunately, Grok had other ideas with Fried Chicken at the helm. And they're doing such a great job right now. The Simpsons are still in this. They just need to be a little bit more tighter on some of these engages and some of these rotations, because you cannot leave some of your players alone in some of these lanes. As we move out of this laning phase, we're gonna start seeing where these team fights are gonna go, especially with those setting potential from the Valley.
You know, talking about players, though, Shark right now, with that Numenon blast, has just been landing them back to back to back. Shark has done an amazing job at creating the space and making the plays happen for his team.
Yeah, and you can already see here, picking up that Malefic Roar. So we're going for a damage Grok here. Even though you got the damage on it, you know that new passive from Grok, every single bit of physical damage.
Daytona's welcome does land on Zane here, but he wants to get him away because he doesn't want this fight. The Cold Alter comes out to help Fallen. The wall comes in, gets a silence onto Fallen. Fallen still up and going. Wait a second. Shark able to get the pick, able to get the stun. Promise trying to fend them away. Hope Zane decides maybe I don't want this. The bravest fighter comes out. Down comes a stun, but Fried Chicken's there too early. The wild charge helps seals it. Luckily, Fallen does at least get his orange buff there, but still not enough.
3-9 game right now, almost a 4K lead for the Valley. We're at about the 9-minute mark here, still trying to see if Simpsons can kind of pull it together, especially for this first Lord. Do you want to engage on this, or is it a safer option to just let the Valley have it?
I don't know, it's going to be hard. Hoon here, aiding some distance. Tona's welcome does not land. Zane, very, very low. Zane goes down, Whole World picks it up. Fallen moving on to this, but he's also taking too much damage. Numenon Blast comes down, and now the Simpsons are pushed away from this Lord, but no retribution on the map. Someone's going to try to get sealed. Mason takes it. The sniper does not succeed from Cold World, and down goes Arvel. A nice try from Cold World, but he shoots it off a little bit too early.
The forethought from Shark to know. They already knew they were in that bush. They didn't engage. They wanted to bait them out. Let them think that they had it. But we got a special surprise for you guys. Redeem this code to get a free Magic Dust and tickets. Limited to the first 50 users. Redeem the link in the description, guys.
Yeah, I mean, Those giveaways are the only thing that are keeping these Simpsons fans up right now because the Simpsons are getting pushed into their base. But the Valley fans, they are loving this. Lord coming in. Lord trying to make a move, but the Simpsons are able to bring it down very low, luckily. So the Valley not getting too much out of this. The lanes weren't that sunk up, right? So at least the Simpsons can defend. This game may definitely be a bit longer than what we saw last time.
Yeah, we do see another engagement on there coming in. So, I mean, it's rough right now. 4-11, and the Valley just having just plodding around here. And even now you can see them hitting into that purple buff. Darville powerless to be able to kind of do anything. Cole World.
Off map, off cam. Cole World goes down, but wait, Hoon. They made a bad spot. They're trying to get him, but he's able to walk away. Once again, Newman on blast is landing. Colt Alder comes out, but still not enough. It is a full team wipe other than promise. 4 members down for the side of the Simpsons. The Valley are going to move on to this tower now. Maybe they try to end this here. They do have the canyon. Luckily, these towers should be able to defend Eugen. Back on the map, Promise goes down basic, picking up that kill, and the tower will fall. Eugen all alone against the world. This is looking very, very dim for the Simpsons.
Sigh of relief from Eugen as the rest of the Valley disengage from that. But we do have the rest of the Simpsons starting to come up now, and they need to have a plan here. You can see right there, other than the early game here, it has been all the Valley, especially with that gold lead. We can see right here it's about a 7K right now. So, I mean, what do the Simpsons have to do to kind of put this back into their favor?
I mean, we have seen the damage starting to come from Cole World. They have been able to get Mobazane. They have been able to get these small picks here and there in some of these team fights. They just need, I think, bait that Hoon again. Try to bait Hoon again. Try to use your brain. Like, try to really, you got to be meticulous going against the Valley. You can't just meet them head on. Because I think we all know the Valley has a bit of a mechanical presence over the Simpsons. So if the Simpsons want to win, they need to come at this at a strategic base. Now, Simpsons trying to keep them out of their own base, speaking of it. But the Lord will be up in 14 seconds.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of defense you have to have on the Simpsons here. And we've talked about this before. You're waiting for a mistake, especially when you're this far behind. You can't win team fights. You can't get caught because if you go out there alone, the Valley are gonna know it. Oh, we see a little bit of engagement here. Wall comes down from Fly Chicken, but they're not ready to go into this fight. Oh, but here we go.
Hoon gets a big burst damage. Eugen instantly deleted. Does not have those stacks either. But wait a second, Lord. He's low. Fallen gets knocked up. Fallen takes the Lord. This is huge. This could deny the Valley of winning this game immediately. But wait a second, Simpsons need to try to retreat quickly. The Valley are angry. The crowd comes in. Numenor Blast comes down. And the Simpsons are getting wiped. It's a full maniac. Nothing but the Lord stands. And the Valley could take this game here. Eugen back on the map. Use the Wild Stampede, but Eugen is bleeding. The crowd is wild, and the Valley will take game 2.
What an amazing turn of events there. Even when the engagement goes perfectly for you, you're able to get the Lord, the Valley answering back and able to go ahead and push into the core.
That is insane. Oh, this just shows this is the Valley, right? This is Shark, this is Chicken, this is Mobazane, this is Hoon, and this is Basic. We were worried about them having some synergy. We were worried about bringing in, about having 3 members from one squad, 2 members from another coming together, but right now they are just showing they have the synergy, I think, to bring this forward.
Not just the synergy, but we're talking about draft. We're talking about strategies. I mean, what has everybody in North America been talking about when it comes to North America going to M4? You need a coach. You're going to need strategies. We're seeing a little bit. I mean, man, these dare I say, just the amazing plays that happen. The Shark with that Bulwark, you saw that one Lord hit as they waited. They baited out Beatrix, waiting. Bulwark came out as soon as they tried to steal it. So, I mean, it's just an amazing play by the Valley.
Okay, so breaking down into some of these stats, I do say Simpsons did better than game 1, right? So maybe we're seeing a slight upscale, right? We're seeing that graph go a little bit up for them. Maybe in game 3 they can pull something out here, but the Valley continues to be something to be reckoned with. Mobazane does take the MVP, but honestly, in my opinion, Shark, man, that man was a monster with that Numenon Blast.
Yeah, it sometimes comes down to the points and how Moonton likes to give away those, because you can't really put a number on some of those setup potentials.
An excitement, Private.
You can't put a number on it, but man, those sets, the potential, just the reads from Shark. It's just amazing. Like I was talking about, even some of those fights out there. What do you do against a team that always seems to be a step ahead of you?
Dude, I want to give some shout out to Hoon, to Chicken this game, right? Those mechanical outplays. You've seen Hoon actually finding time after time the solo kills on the Promise on the top lane, and also Chicken with the engage, the wall charge at the right time. You can see this is the top lane. One more time, a beautiful synergy between Hoon and Chicken. That was just beautiful to watch. And here is when Hoon take the bait and jump in. Nonetheless, I gotta say the mechanic. This is why the Valley is such a force to be reckoned with, because every single one of them is a star. It's not the entire team. The synergy, we talk about it, the caster talk about it, but dude, the skills on those players are just absolutely insane.
Yeah, most definitely, Dave. This has been an intense match 2, and excited to see how match 3 goes. Now, I got a feeling Gushin may just hit that ban list coming soon, because Eugen's good at it, Hoon's good at it. I don't know if it's something we want to continue to let both teams play.
Yeah, especially for a ban list, because it's not, I don't know if it's one of those #1 picks. So you're basically essentially giving it to the other team on that second half of that first draft.
Absolutely, and the thing about Gushin that we talked about is the fact how easy it is to use the passive to shred those tanks, right? You saw Fallen on the gigantic dinosaur, just disappeared in half a second on bottom lane. And that's what Gushin brings to the table, and that's why this character is coming back to the meta to counter the tank jungle.
Now taking a look on screen, Mobazane does get MVP again. And honestly, yes, Shark made the flashy plays and maybe the Casters MVP, but look at that KDA. 8-1-9, 41k damage, a rating of 10.7 in the gold. Just already, we weren't even at like the 20-minute mark yet, I think, and he's already looks like he's maxed itemed out. You know what I mean? He's got 11k gold. That's insane. It just shows why he was mining for diamonds in that animation.
Yeah, and we talked about this before, even when Zane gets taken out, the rest of the Valley can kind of close ranks around the team and still be able to push forward.
Yeah, every step that you take against Team Valley, you will be punished to the full extent. You have to be prepared before you take those steps. Because this is really going to be careful, especially when we talk about the Numinous Blast. You see how patient Shark was for the counterplay, right? He had it in his hand, he just wasn't using it until the very last second when he can make those game-changing ultimates.
And you're completely right, because every time you used the Numenon Blast in that game, it was like halfway through the fight.
Yeah.
You never used it as like, all right, I'm going to use this and y'all are going to attack. It was, the fight was going, Chicken makes the engage or something, and he just waits. It almost looks like the Valley's going to lose the fight for a second, but then the Numenon Blast comes crashing down and they clean up once again.
Another amazing thing too for me is what I am seeing from Shark here on the XP lane. Not those same Esmeralda, Uranus, Dyroth picks that we usually see up there. We're seeing just these very outside, and you don't really even question it. It's as soon as you see that it's in the XP lane, you're like, oh, yeah, that works too. And he's just been doing amazing on it.
Yeah, speaking of the XP lane, here we have a little bit of stats for y'all to compare the XP laners in this grand final. Take it away.
Okay, now looking at Promise, sitting at an average of 4 kills right now, above Fried Chicken. And though Fried Chicken has been making some great plays, and this is the thing, a lot of the members of the Simpsons do great singularly. They have decent stats. They're able to get nice average damage, but the problem is they don't always come together as a team, and the Valley is going to take advantage of that time and time again.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about. It's not just about those singular lane matchups. It's about what that lane brings to the team fight.
Absolutely. Here we're taking a look in studio of the players. They look relaxed. They look happy. I mean, I think I'm just happy to be here, to be honest. But ladies and gentlemen, I think we have our third match band draft underway. As the players are getting ready, they're picking their characters, bending their characters. Now we're switching back yet again with Valley back on the first pick, first ban.
Okay, so I think an answer for the Simpsons need to be to just we got to go a bit bulkier, man. We got to go a little bit bulkier. If we're going to have a support, or a squishy, kind of something like the Faramis in the mid, maybe pick an actual tank, not a support tank, Do something, and I get it, it can work for teams like the Valley, it can work for some other teams, but if it's not working, you need to maybe take this at a different direction.
It's what's interesting to me is during the last draft, we were all focused on what Shark brings to a Grok. And then to see it played on Chicken. What's amazing to me is because you have these players that are so dangerous on certain characters, and now the Valley have shown you that we don't even have to put it on that player, we can put it on somebody else. If they're thinking that far ahead, it's very hard to kind of put your drafts against it. But, if Game 3 is the place to do it, if you're going to mount that comeback.
Yeah, this show you the teams have done their homework. They've been watching the other regions. We've seen Grok being picked off in the playoffs for both regions of MPL Indonesia, you have MPL Philippines, and then now showing up in the Valley, Grok is now being used as a flex pick, right? You can go to the support, you can go with the side lane. It's good either way.
Yeah, and speaking of the XP lane, Chicken has just continued to amaze me throughout this top 8 of NACT. We saw him play the Ruby, who in history, since M3, it was something he never really ran. I've literally heard him on stream I hate this hero.
Yeah.
And now we saw him play that. Now he's running the Grok. He's just, the whole team in general, from Zane to Chicken to Shark, have really just dug down and evened out that hero pool.
Yeah, and we're kind of sticking to the same bands right now. We do see that Gujin being taken out of there. They are done messing around with it, especially in the hands of Hoon, somebody who he's just unmistakably awesome on it. But we're going to have to think about what we're going to be bringing to the table here, because the Simpsons need to have an ace up their sleeve, because the Valley are showing that they have all the components already.
And also, I gotta say, back to the Valley doing homework, we can see all 3 games, we got the Alice ban. Who is that targeting, right? Arvel is a new member now in Team Simpsons coming to the tournament. This guy has been doing, I think they're doing quite a bit of the Alice in the scrims. Yeah. And now you won't even get a chance to use it.
Yeah, Atlas, honestly, the bands in general, the only familiar band here from, 2 weeks ago is the Akai and the Wanwan. Yes, we saw the Atlas sometimes, but not always up front. And hold up, the Valley taking out the Phoveus, maybe giving us a little bit of a future shine, or maybe just wanting to leave things open.
I don't even know what to expect from the Valley. Heck, at this point, I would expect that they're trying to pretend that they're going to get people with dashes just because of how far ahead they've been thinking. You think they're doing one thing, they go with something else, completely over my head sometimes here. But we have one band left for the Simpsons. We're going to see what they're going to be taking out. Are they going to be giving up that Karina for Zane, or are we going to be banning that again and possibly leaving something else open for the side of the Valley?
Framis, Valentina, all open.
Oh.
Yeah.
You have a lot of marksmen open as well. You have Claude, you have Melissa, right? You have a bunch of good choices. Karina being banned away. Now, what is Valley going to go with? I think they're not going to go with either or, right? The Framis or the Valentina. Maybe, I think, again, this time might be a Lilia, because you have another 2 marksmen on the table. Claude is also a really good choice because it's really good against Melissa.
They pick up Valentina. And I think they're too scared, because it's like, do we pick up something else good for Zane or good for Basic, and then give over Valentina and something else? Valentina itself, and I think that's what the Simpsons are thinking, Valentina itself, not too bad, but you give away 2 picks in this first set, it is rough, right? So the Simpsons did make that call. They make this gamble. They know that either they're going to pick that or not, and it sides they do. So the Simpsons, I'm surprised they're kind of taking so long on these picks. You think it's all right, we leave it open. We should already have our 2 picks ready, but they're definitely taking their time with this because they know after this, we're coming into match point if they lose this one too.
Yeah, and what's amazing too here is that I feel like they're kind of baiting out this Faramis because basically that's kind of the only thing you have left so that you can match out that Cult Altar, kind of keep Hoon busy at least with that so that he's going to be taking that. So, instead of now having to watch out throughout the entire team what they're going to be taking from you. But we do see Arvel going to go ahead and pick up that Cho and then Claude on from Cold World.
Now, are we going to see both Valentina and Framis being taken out by the Valley? We've seen it done before. Especially with the tankier jungle meta, Karina being taken away, you still have quite a bit of option, right? Dinosaur is on the table, and also you have Thamus. A lot of options available right now for the Valley as a tanky jungle option. So going with something like, a Framis support might just be.
I mean, it definitely could work, right? But but honestly, the weird thing is, and we've seen it work overseas. We've seen a lot of teams do it, but here it's kind of been like a curse.
Yeah.
Every time a team picks up the Valentina and the Faramis, they stop it. That's not real. That is not real. Basic picks up the production. Anyways, Basic picks up the Mia fried chicken on the Benedetta. Look at Promise. He's like, y'all, are you guys really doing this? You guys are serious? This is what we're doing in game 3, but the Simpsons are gonna play this out private.
I remember
your first
talking. I remember I even asked Chicken once about where he thought the Benedetta was, and he said, it's a respectable pick. He just hasn't pulled it out because he hasn't been able to practice on it when he's had so much lag. Now we see him the opportune moment. With single digits out here in beautiful Las Vegas in Poker Go studio, and also apparently the opporune time to pull out the Mia.
Hey, I think Mia is a great pick.
Dave's happy.
I don't know. I don't care what you guys think about Mia. I think the OG character deserves its highlights, to be honest, right? Now I'm just waiting for the Layla pick, right? Or the Hanzo pick next. To be honest, Mia is actually a great choice against Claude because you can't stop his damage, right? You can't stop Mia's damage if you get Mia to be in those battlefield against Claude. Doesn't matter if you're doing Blazing Duet. It doesn't matter, right? I'm just gonna keep on auto attacking.
Yeah, just stand still and bing, 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 right? It's a good point, right? Mia. I mean, don't get me wrong. We've seen some crazy picks like this work. Deuce Knights used to do it. I remember Rose used to run the Mia, and I mean, to a point where some teams were banning the Mia against that team, right? But I don't know if it's precedented for tonight. We will see if it works out. The second ban's now coming in, guys. The Grok will be banned out. A solid ban, and the Simpsons really thinking about the Valley on the gun.
The one interesting thing here is that we did have, we see that Farja being picked up here. I mean, you still will be able to put on a decent amount of damage onto the Mia, but once she activates that ultimate from hers, where are you going to be aiming there as well? She's going to be able to get herself out of harm's way. And then the other two characters up there, Hoon and Fried Chicken, I mean, you're going to have a heck of a time trying to catch them as they're just zipping all around the map there. We do see that the Paquito getting taken out there. I mean, we saw what Zane was able to do with it last time. So they're kind of focusing him down here. You got the Karina down, you got the Paquito down as well. So, I mean, it's anybody's ball game now. We have one more ban left for the Valley.
Now you understand why they banned out the Phobius. Ooh, a mom ban, knowing that how squishy the entire team is. Who's going to be the tank role, right? Now you still have quite a bit of option, like we mentioned, for the Valley in the jungle, because Paquito being banned out, but you have, again, the Dinosaur. Are they going to go with that? Because so far, from Team Simpsons side, they're really mobile or really, really far away. They're not going to really give you the Dinosaur much chances. Or maybe you can go with someone like Thamus, which we don't see that much, but it's slowly surfacing back into the meta.
Yeah, it could definitely be a good jungler. Now, before I walked into the studio today, story time, Shark asked me, he says, you want to see me play Roam Fanny? I'm just saying, we see a Mia pick. We might see something insane tonight. I don't know if it's going to happen. We'd also been wondering if we're going to see the Harith or something like that. This may be the game the Valley can do that. They get to test some things. They have a 2-0 lead now. Promise, locking in this Dairoth. Bans are up, and I like the Dairoth in the EXP, and also, if they really need to, they could flex it to the jungle.
Yeah, I like it in the XP as well, but do you like it against a Benedetta who has the potential to kind of get behind you where Dairoth kind of is at the weakest when he's starting to set up a lot of these abilities, setting up that Abyssal Strike as well, or the Abysm Strike as well. So it's going to be very interesting. You're going to have to play like one of the greatest Dairoth games to be able to catch Benedetta in that lane, and not just that.
The
YSS.
YSS and the Jawhead. The notorious, infamous is finally being picked. And by the way, I just want to say Jawhead, again, is being heavily focused on, or prioritized, should I say, in MPL and other side of the globe. So here we go, being taken out by Shark. Very, very good choice. And also Jawhead does really well against Claude. If you don't purify at the right time, you can get an entire skill combo canceled. And ladies and gentlemen, the last pick, the link coming out today in the grand final, the finale of NACT.
This is huge. This is very, very huge. Mobazane picking up that pick, a pick we haven't seen him play in ages, but we know the skill is there. He's still playing in ranked games. Fans are still asking him to do it. But with this lead, he is running it out now. Normally, the Ling doesn't do too well, but in a game like this, as long as he can dodge Shark and not get picked off by him, he could really focus in onto Zane, really focus in onto this Mia.
Well, it's definitely a counter pick for and an answer for that Yusun Shin. However, you still have to think about the Benedetta. You still have to think about the Jawhead, the early invades potential onto that Ling, because that's pretty much going to be the counter for him. Yeah. Refuse him that purple, and he's going to have issues.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's time to share, like, subscribe, and turn the bell on to all notification bells as we step into Game 3 in the Valley and the Simpsons.
Ooh, Game 3 here. It's a make or break for the Simpsons here right now. A very unorthodox draft from the Valley here, but we're going to see if the Simpsons have what it takes to push this out.
I mean, this is the game they can do it, right? This is the game the Valley wants to make things interesting. This is the game the Valley wants to test out some things. You know, if they win this, they could go to world stage, and what a better time than when you have a 2-0 lead to bring something fresh on to the table. Now, the Simpsons, with Fallen on this Ling, I think it's going to be very important. Arvel as well on the Cho. I think they really need to push in, right? I think the Simpsons need to be aggressive. This is their opportunity to do that.
Look how fast the Valley is clearing and getting Mobazane farmed up. With Super Shark on that Jawhead, the amount of damage he's able to do to kind of clear out these little bit of engagement there. Eugen is going to have to use that wings by wings to disengage there. But what I was saying is that they are able to kind of farm very faster, even on a Yusun Shin. With Shark on that Jawhead, you're basically filling in the gap that has been for the marksman, and that's their clear speed, their rotations, because Fallen still is not going to be able to catch up if you still have Shark there assisting Zane with all that damage he can do with the jungle.
Ooh, Fried Chicken having a little bit of trouble against this Dairoth, getting brought low. I think as we progress, though, onto this level 4 once the laning phase gets through, Fried Chicken may be able to keep up with Promise. He's just going to have to watch out for that following skill, right? He needs to watch out for that big dive, but he has the abilities with that Electro Final Blow to kind of phase out of things, to escape if he needs to, but Shark...
Ooh, we do see an ejector onto Arvel, who's going to go ahead and Jeet Kundo his way to safety.
Yeah, nice play, and Turtle will be up very, very shortly. The Valley ready to go for it. So the Valley, as they're rotating through this map, they seem comfortable. We haven't seen them play a composition like this in quite a long time, but Zane still feels so comfortable on this YSS. The damage he did to Eugen earlier, getting those slight picks, and with Shark as his front man once again, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, we do see that Simpsons trying to make something happen. We do see that final blow coming out here. Eugen is going to go ahead and expend that flicker back. Here comes the feathered airstrike down. It doesn't catch anybody, though. Now we are on the Turtle. Super Shark going to go ahead and try to zone out the rest of them on this Jawhead right now. We do see the damage coming on there. Down to about a third health. In comes Fallen. Down comes the Tempest Blades here. He is able to pick up that Turtle now. Coming in on top of the Valley. He is able to get away scot-free, and nobody loses a life there.
So Fallen picking up a Retribution steal there, and we saw him do it to Lord last time. It seems like the fingers are getting a bit quicker. Maybe it was cold, maybe those hand warmers are finally starting to kick in, because he tapped that Retribution on time, able to make sure he out-retries the Valley there. So the Simpsons starting to gain a little bit of a lead here, and Basic goes down in the top lane. Simpsons picking up first blood for the third game in a row.
Yeah, final blow comes out there. Oh, an ejector does land on the Promise. He's going to go ahead, activate that flicker. Oh, it's cleaned up, taken down there. But so they are able to trade kill for a kill, 1-1 here, and it is a tie game here, even with the gold, folks.
Now on screen once again, get out those phones, because you can redeem the code on the skin now. The redeem link is in the description, and only the first 30 users can get that. So get hype and make sure you come right back. Now on to this game. It's 1-1. Simpsons still below on gold here, ever so slightly. The Valley, man, we say it over and over. The farm rate is just so intense, but the Simpsons definitely have a huge opportunity in this game. We just saw them pick off Basic. We've seen them. I mean, the possibilities are there.
Yeah, and I want to say that this is probably the best opening that the Simpsons have had. I mean, not winning but not losing. They're keeping the Valley at a standstill here. You can see up at the top base, it does come down with a little bit of that stun on the Cold World. Ooh, Shark trying to be a little sneaky, but definitely Cold World definitely saw that coming. Does go ahead and throw that battle mirror image into that bush to go ahead and let Shark know that, yeah, you can go ahead and leave now, sir.
They got to keep their eyes on Shark. We just saw the bait come on to Promise. He thought he had chicken, and now he's up in the top lane all of a sudden. But wait a second.
Ooh, Feathered Airstrike comes down, is warding off Super Shark there, but unfortunately you wasted a Feathered Airstrike there and didn't really get a lot of value out of it. And now you're not going to have it for this turtle. We are seeing them go ahead and start on 3 members here right now. Going in, Arvil takes a heap of damage. There goes a Feathered Airstrike of their own with that IMU from Hoon on that Valentina. Promise comes in, is able to get that turtle. There goes the final blow. Right now, Arvil is going to go ahead and disengage there as well, so no kills just yet. Oh, as I say that, Cold World is getting chased down right now, but the rest of the Simpsons coming in to go ahead and escort him to safety.
Promise trying to take the throne of Retri God there, stealing that turtle away. A nice play from the side of the Simpsons there. Now, the Valley still holding it though. Taking a look at these items, we are seeing Claude getting that DHS in from Cold World there. So some damage is gonna start being input onto Shark here. Gonna maybe start helping defend, but taking a look at Mobazane with 3,300 gold, a full 400 ahead of Fallen right now.
You see Prowess is gonna go ahead and have to expend that flicker already. Trying to put on the damage, is gonna go ahead and dash his way to safety behind that tower. Meanwhile, up at the top, we have 3 members from the Simpsons kind of meeting up with the Valley there, but they are going to think twice about that engagement. And, unfortunately, Arvil just a second too late, gets the wrong angle on Hoon as he falls with that Way of the Dragon into his own tower, so they're not able to capitalize onto it. You see Shark coming in, blazing duet from Cold World here. Is he going to be able to get back with that BMI? They're not even thinking about that. In comes Fallen down. We do see that they come down with that ult right now. Here comes a Feather Airstrike right now as well. Fallen in a bit of trouble, taking a lot of damage. Is going to use that fit post to get away.
No.
Auto attack from Mobazane, able to finish the job there, and they are not able to punish him. Fly Chicken coming all the way from the bottom lane to go ahead and put on some damage onto Arvil. There goes that Mountain Chakra to go ahead and slow them down, give the Valley a little bit of vision on the map.
So close. So close. And those are those minute things. When we talk about this game being a game of seconds and minutes, those of single HPs on the line, the Valley always gets away with those low amounts of health. But the Simpsons, right there, when one of them is low trying to get away, the Valley finds it, and they make sure you pay for it.
Ooh, we do see the way the Dragon does a latch onto Shark, and it's not able to enough to be able to go ahead and clean him up. Fly Chicken coming into the back line as well to go ahead and ward off Yujin there. Cold World coming in, but it's not going to be able to make anything happen here. And we are going into this next turtle. Promise is here trying to go ahead, let it be known that he is here trying to kind of cover down for this. I'm not sure if the Simpsons are in a position to go ahead and, there goes the Mountain Chakra. So now the Valley have a good, precise location. Basically able to take down Cold World off camera there. And now we are actuating onto them. Here comes the Tempest of Blade, and they're Fallen, able to pick up that turtle there. A great play by him. He has been showing the skill level on this lane, which we haven't been able to see in NA for a very long time.
All the people who always said, this Ling, what is wrong? Why doesn't anyone play Assassins? Well, tonight, guys, in this LAN event, we are seeing Fallen showing up right now for the Simpsons. The Simpsons really trying to hold this game together and put one on the map for themselves. The only problem is they haven't taken any towers. Yes, they've been getting those objectives on the map, but still not really able to catch a huge lead. They need to start converting these objectives into actual non-neutral objectives, into objectives taken from the Valley.
Yeah, and we see down comes the Mountain Shocker. Going to go ahead and give the Valley a little bit of vision there so they know where the Simpsons are and what they can try to make happen here. You see a little bit of a dual lane up at the top, but Promise is in a little bit of a comfortable position there. Oh, Arville, he does get away with the Dragon. 3 members meet him in that bush, and that is just not the bush you want to be going into. Hoon comes in, about to answer it with his own. Is going to go ahead and dash his way to the tower. Up at the top, we do see Bobazane clashing. We see that Tempest Blade coming down as well. Basic able to take down Cold World there. Is going to go ahead and get himself to safety. Fallen goes down to the hands of Mobazane.
Basic. Bro, on this Mia right now, I mean, it had a little bit of trouble up front, but Dave was right. Dave called it. All you got to do is sit there, basic attack, and actually output that damage. And if you can use that ultimate, that Blessing of the Moon Goddess to get that right position and wait for you to pop those skills, then it's GG's, man. You just run in, you bomb, and everyone drops. So at this point, the Valley is holding the lead in towers. Has been able to push in that top lane a lot, and this is going to force Promise up there, constantly defending to where as the rest of the team of the Valley can get involved in this Lord.
Yeah, and it's just such a smart play too, because if you're going to want to counter, the Mia, you have to go ahead and pick up that Wind of Nature, which means it's going to take you a little longer to get that Golden Staff, take you a little longer to get that Demon Hunter sword as well, and he can't sacrifice that right now if he wants to keep the Simpsons in some of these team fights. We see that the Valley going ahead, starting on this first Lord, maybe baiting it out a little bit. They don't seem like they really want to put the damage on it just yet. They just want to get Simpsons in a position that they can take advantage of. Oh, at the top you see a tower going down there as well. So and Mountain Shocker comes out here right now. Doesn't look like they're going to go ahead and take it. They want to know where the Simpsons are on the map right now. Down to half health is this first Lord, going over to the side of the Simpsons right now. They're both falling. Nobody really knows what they want to get out. Oh, Fallen! He's Fallen takes it again! His Retrifu is strong tonight. As we do see that the Valley is able to go ahead and pick up a kill there. Coldwell coming in with that Blazing Duet, not able to make anything happen, is going to go ahead and use that BMI to get out of the way. Promise coming in here on to Shark, gets ejected almost into the tower, but you see that Way of the Dragon, unfortunately. Oh, Promise gets taken out by Mobazane. I thought he would be safe. Unfortunately, Mobazane comes in to clean that up as well. We do see this tower going down. Cold World in some trouble here. Wings by Wings is going to get Barge out of harm's way. Down goes Cold World. That is 2 members from the Simpsons going down. And even though you get the Lord, unfortunately, you lose players because you don't have the backup. You don't have like everybody in sync with what they should be doing at that point.
Yeah, they're just once again a little bit too split up in these games, man. And they get the Lord. It's a great time to regroup and figure out what we're doing. You don't have the lead. You know, you stole the Lord, and you did it great. Like, that is a great play. But the thing is that doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want on the map. Wait a second, Fallen
down. Fallen is a maniac right now, trying to put on that damage. We do see that fake. Shark followed him well off. Oh my God, almost across the map. Shark had latched on and he was not gonna let go. We are still pushing in onto this mid tower right now. Cold World, Eugen, and Arville. It doesn't look like this mid tower is gonna, we do see a Tempest Blades with that IMU from Hoon. Oh, Way of the Dragon catches Hoon, makes him pay. And up at the top, we see the Simpsons here. They're going to try to do the same up at the top. White Chicken coming in with that Benedetta. You see that final blow come out, and it is going to be enough to kind of ward off them. Here comes the Blazing Duet. Ejector has come out with the BMI gets Cold World to safety. Down goes Shark again. Tempest Blaze comes down. Mobazane gets himself to safety. Mountain Shocker down on the map. Actually takes Simpsons pretty low.
But look at the comeback. Look at the gold. Simpsons have now officially taken a lead, and we're getting into this, 13 minutes into this game. I mean, this could be the Simpsons grounds right here as long as Basic doesn't pop off, right? We've seen Fallen continue to do more. If White Chicken, though, does pick up this Blade of Despair, we're going to see a bit more damage from him at this point. But the Simpsons have brought this game back to a stalemate with Lord coming up in 24 seconds. The Simpsons have a nice foothold on it, and it seems that even if they don't have a nice foothold on the pit, Fallen can possibly steal it.
Yeah, we see a little bit of engagement happening here. The Valley coming in. Here comes the final blow there. Fallen does get taken out by Basic. Fly Chicken able to take down Eugen. Mountain Shocker on the map right now, and there is not much to stop this push. Blazing Duet Cold World gets taken out by Mobazane. That is 3-0 right as soon as this Lord spawns. That's going to be the first Luminous Lord going over to the Valley.
I promise, trying to get some split push in here, right? Trying to do something in that top lane, continuing try and do something. Now, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? That's my question. Are they always going off to split push a little too late or a little bit too early? Arvel taking a bit of damage here.
Arvel gets taken out by Hoon. A lot of damage going on here. Oh my god, this might be it. They're not even gonna wait for the Lord. Oh, what a flicker! Able to throw Eugen in and clean him up. Promise gets taken down. They are at the core, half health. There goes the Blazing Duet. Is it gonna be enough? It is not! The Valley take game 3.
That was a game for the record books. That was a game for the legends themselves. The Valley come in and clean up with a composition that a lot of us didn't expect it, but pulled it off. Simpsons, though, did a definite great job, and we continue to see them at this slight uprise. The problem is, will it be too little, too late? Because next game is going to be match point for the Valley.
Yeah, just such interesting compositions here. I almost thought it was 2021 again when we see Mobazane on that Yusun Shin there, and then just their cohesion there. And that's the problem you get with people here that with a team that just has this skill level, has these strategies in mind as well. But you can take a look at the stats here as well.
Yeah, Mobazane once again securing the MVP. Did a wonderful job, but again, to me, the excitement, Super Shark on that play. But not, we've been talking about the Valley for the past 3 games. Let's talk about the Simpsons for a second. Fallen on that lane, though they lost the plays from him, the steals from him, taking out Mobazane in a matter of seconds and then getting away, even with Shark chasing him, was just such an amazing play.
Yeah, but we were talking about this before. You can win these little matchups, but if you cannot provide that same coverage, if you cannot provide that same damage and ability during the team fights, you're gonna have a problem against the Valley. I mean, I almost feel embarrassed here because I was talking about how Mobazane is comfortable now taking a back seat when it comes to some of this farming. But I mean, he just can't not get MVPs. I mean, when you're Mobazane, just the highlight reel here for these, especially with him always there. Nobody from the Simpsons was able to get away with a little bit of health because he was always in a position to go ahead and clean that up.
Most definitely. Now, after that, we will be passing it back. What do you think, Dave?
Oh my God, the wittiness from the Valley, right? You saw when they're behind, you still have the Mia coming out with the ultimate, just finding the 2 kills in the mid lane, and that turned a whole game around. Killing the Farsa, killing the lane. What a beautiful play. But ladies and gentlemen, we actually got something special. The voice comm of the Valley coming at you. Be ready.
Nice. Ready. Pressure mid, pressure.
Yeah.
Oh. No, it's okay. We got the connection, huh?
The CC wombo combo.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
You can see how relaxed the team is.
They are
happy. They're excited. They're in for the fun, to be honest. I mean, I couldn't hear any stress, despite the fact they were losing the mid-game.
Yeah, they're definitely. I mean, I feel like everyone's been having fun here, not just the players, but the fans. We've been hearing them get loud, and they're just keeping their cool, man. The Valley's enjoying this right now, and you can tell, and everyone's been worried, like, is there gonna be some friction between some of the players? Is there gonna be this stuff? Right now, they feel happy, they feel comfortable.
And guys, we're actually going to a short break, but don't go anywhere, whether you're watching at home or in the studio. I heard some of our local casters are getting a facelift right here. So get your popcorn. We'll see you guys all very, very soon.
昇れ竜よ天高くロザン百竜派俺は不死身のフェニックス一輝世界は俺たちに任された不死鳥の怒りだ
Welcome back, North America. It's now match point for the Valley. Are we going to see a clean sweep for the Valley, or are we going to see a potential Game 5? It's all come down to the very next game. But ladies and gentlemen, as you saw during the break, there is actually a facelift session going on stage right now. Now, before we go to the crime scene, we actually have a little bit of skin lift session for your skin collection. On screen right now is a code for the Fanny Lightborn Ranger skin. Only the first fast 8 users can redeem them. So what you're waiting for? Take out your phone, use the code with the link in description, and get your Fanny Lightborn skin right now. And ladies and gentlemen, we actually have a little bit of video showing what the player thinks about their chances in today's tournament. Let's quickly take a listen.
I think in terms of practice in America, it doesn't matter. The only thing that really defines whether we do good at M4 or not is the practice we get in Asia prior to M4. They take us seriously individually. Of course, sometimes now we have new players, they might not take the newer players seriously, but they definitely take the ones who were there at M3 very serious.
NA's in a good spot, and M4 should be fun, and we should be able to compete with the other regions too.
To go to M4 and to win it all is a very challenging thing. Before this tournament, no other team in the history of the World Cup was even at the World Cup to defend their title. So I think it'll be interesting. It's of course always going to be a struggle for any NA team that might go and qualify, but I think we'll do our best, and I think there is a possibility that getting better than third or winning is it's definitely likely. There's a chance.
People in Asia is really good. We're not gonna underestimate them.
We have to see once we get to Asia, because that's where the real practice is. They're gonna be prepared going against whoever wins the NA qualifiers.
Whoever wins here in NA, we're gonna try our best to compete to another country, especially the volley. If they won on the M4 NA, we're just gonna support them no matter what.
Well, nothing's sure until we get there, but I don't know exactly what's gonna happen there. I don't know what to expect. I've never been to Asia to compete in ML. So yeah, it's a whole new world for me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard the boys. And now let's take a look at a bio of fried chicken from the Valley. The hometown is Streamwood IL. Favorite character, Yujong. Favorite, a lot of other stuff I want to go over, but I heard there is a crime scene going on stage. What's going on out there, Private?
Well, the match may have stopped up on stage for a moment, but the fighting still continues between me and Trex. We are joined here right now by Steph, Wheezy, and G, the Aiko, and we have 4 minutes to create our masterpieces.
I'm starting. I'm trying to get a little bit of a lead on Private here. And I gotta say, sometimes I have a little bit of a Bob Ross in me.
Oh.
Now, G, what do you think? What's the highlight on the game? What's been your favorite part so far?
Man, I gotta say the synergy between Chicken, Shark, and Mobazane has just been insane. I mean, that comeback, you know, the Simpsons taking the Lord, but then the Numera Blast and the Wild Charge to end the game, even though the Lord was barreling down there, was amazing.
And Steph, Wheezy, what do you think about those first few games as well?
I gotta say, man, game 1, seeing Mobazane secure the Maniac, and then topping it off in game 2 with the Savage. That's a nice start for the grand finals. And I think what's left? What are we gonna see now? We've seen a Maniac, we've seen a Savage, and like GD and Kyle said, the synergy is just unmatched right now.
Now, honestly, yes, that last comeback when Chicken plays the Grok and gets the big pick there, definitely something insane. But for this possible last few games, what do you guys want to see next, G?
And I want to see, I mean, Mobazane was having a little bit of a trouble with that retry, so I want to see him come back and, you know, get back on his groove, you know, and see that turnaround. But other than that, man, the synergy, I just want to keep seeing that.
And Steph, Wheezy, what do you think about those picks from the last game? We saw Mobazane picking up his favorites there, Yusun Shin as well.
I gotta say, yeah, the YSS, everybody knows how well Mobazane can play on that. And then you also see Arvel over there, locking in a good pick as well. But Fallen on the Ling, I think there's some good picks for the jungles. I gotta say, the Mia was probably one of the most interesting things. Not something anybody could have predicted, but definitely a show that we've seen with that match. And then seeing the Valley able to get 3-0 on it.
Yeah, just some amazing games we've had such far. Who are the heroes that you maybe haven't seen yet and want to see? Wheezy.
Oh, I gotta say, well, we've seen Gushin. We know how well he's been playing. Definitely, especially more this season. But I've always been a Martis fan. I want to see the Valley pull out Martis, especially with Fried Chicken in the XP lane, to see how phenomenal he can do with it. We've seen the Terizla pick, just bullying inside of the XP lane against Esmeralda, one of the best fighters, in NACT up into this point, prior to the patch notes. So Martis getting that recent buff, I gotta see Fried Chicken pull him out.
Now hold on a second, because we've been talking about so many hero picks, but the real question is, what do we think about, whoever does end up going, guys? How do we feel about how NA right now? I mean, with how well the crowd's been doing tonight, how hype everyone has been, how do we feel about NA right now going forward?
I mean, personally, amazing, man. This opportunity, the groundbreaking pass that we're seeing from NA, the players, everybody seems so friendly and joyful, and I think everybody's glad to be here, and the crowd's just been insane.
Yeah, it has been pretty insane, especially
Me and
here.
Private are getting distracted because we're trying to paint and also discuss.
Especially here in this beautiful Poker Go studio. Speaking of beauty, I mean, I don't want to brag, but I am making a masterpiece here. And we've had, what do you think right now the Simpsons maybe need to do to kind of come back here fresh and ready to take on the Valley, Wheezy?
Well, I would definitely say, it starts inside of the lanes, the side lanes. XP lane, we're looking at Fried Chicken going against Promise. I want to see a couple of hero picks that can create opportunities. We've seen the Grok versus the Lapu, not really any heroes that can create the opportunity for cuts, just kind of being more of a stalemate. And then the other game when we saw Terizla over there by Fried Chicken going against Promise, and he was able to cut and create opportunity for the Valley, which led to a victory. So I want to see a little bit more pressure from the side of the Simpsons to be able to do cuts in the XP lane to create that opportunity on those major objectives such as the Turtle and Lords.
G, you're gonna have to run this because I'm having a little bit of a disaster on your forehead. And just tell me whatever you want, man. How are you feeling about the fans?
Dude, I mean, the fans, the teams, man. I just can't. Last game was pretty insane. I was glad to see Fallen taking out that Ling. The retries coming from him was insane. And I can't wait to see more, and I just hope that it doesn't end in this next game.
I am just in love with this work. There's been many things, there's been many masterpieces that have come from Private Dancer, but this is the top of them right now. So Wheezy.
You guys like that, fans? We're laughing at him, but not my joke. So, okay, guys, okay.
So you've been in this for a while. You played a lot of roles. You have been the coach and part of a team that did decently in the NACT. What do you think is important for teams coming here and competing in North America?
I'll say it definitely starts with the right mentality. You have to go into this with a game plan, but you also got to go into it with some good players. Synergy is definitely one of the things, and sometimes synergy comes with time. It's definitely hard to get that naturally, but over time, I feel any team can build it. And then also, just doing research on teams, also knowing what the patch notes have to offer. If you can pull that off, you have a greater chance of success, and that's what we're seeing with the Valley. A lot of players with the master of their craft, watching these patch notes, knowing exactly who to play in every single situation.
Most definitely. Now, so, G, I'm still just I'm reaching right now because my thought is really on this NACT I'm trying to put on your forehead. Now, seeing how well this, I think we were all super surprised by how many people showed up. Me and Private could hear all of you guys screaming through the doors. And this is supposed to be a soundproof room that we're in, right? But we can hear you guys. What do you want to see for the next event in North America? Bigger venue, things like that.
I mean, the venue here is amazing. A bigger venue would be amazing. To be honest, I want to see more leagues. I want to see more tournaments. I want more reach more talent to come out. And if you guys are listening and tuning in and you're in NA and you want to shine, you have your opportunity.
You guys have been here in and out for a few hours, out taking part of the activities here. We've seen some cosplays here as well. Which one has been your favorite cosplay here today?
I gotta say, it's a tie between, all three of them are really good. We've seen Selena, we've seen Wan, we've also seen Nana. But I gotta give it to the Wan. Almost spot on with every single detail.
They have been amazing. Watch out.
Watch out, Private. Listen here, Private. Dave's probably gonna be biased to you. Someone's probably gonna be biased to you when they decide on the winner, but I gotta say, what I'm making here is a masterpiece. And speaking of cosplays, that gives me another question. We saw some 3 amazing cosplays tonight. G, if you could see any future cosplay in future events, what do you want to see? What skin?
I mean, from me, I want to see a Granger, you know? A lot of people were hoping that I would actually cosplay that, but I just wasn't able to this time around. And another one would be a Veil.
Okay. So, let me ask you, if you were gonna cosplay something, what would it be?
Well, you see, I've been waiting for this question my whole life. I feel like Mobile Legends made Brody just for me. So after this event, you know, I'm saying it now, it's going to be an NACT Wheezy skin for Brody, right here, with this that Private's doing right now.
I want a Khalid skin then. I want a Khalid skin. I'm going to need one, or at least just another Khalid skin. That'd be cool. Oh
gosh.
G, let me see what Wheezy's looking like over here. All right. I think I got this. Now, looking at Wheezy here, G, you can't see yourself right now, but do you think we have them beat?
I think
you
you
have
did
faith in me?
Yeah, you've done. I felt like you have way more detail, because I can feel it. That's for sure.
Steph, do you think you have?
Oh, I definitely got him beat.
All right. Private, do you think you have me beat?
Oh, definitely. Without a shadow of a doubt here.
You know what? I also think you have me beat.
Oh, dang.
No, I think we definitely got this. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun either way. I'm done. I don't need to add any more detail.
All right, guys, but we do need somebody to go ahead and judge this for us. These masterpieces we have, even though, I mean, judging these masterpieces do seem like a little bit of a sin. Do we have somebody that can do that for us?
Yes. Somebody noticed Dave's 12 years of mastery of art. Dude, I was watching on the side of the stage. I gotta say,
you have to close your eyes for this.
There are a lot of details, okay, for everybody. I mean, this is the match for the day here, okay?
Match of the day.
Yeah, this is the match for the day. This is NACT Simpsons versus Valley. The details here is actually, it's not Simpsons, it's OSP. You're using the squad tag.
I'm using the logo.
Yes!
The logo. That's the logo. That's the little
I mean, what's the thing on the nose here?
Right there.
That's BS?
Verse.
That's...
You don't see the gorilla?
That gorilla?
You know,
can we get a close up?
I gotta say, the art is fitting all this painting around the beard, okay? Like, I don't know how you're able to do that, right? Like, if it's just paint, okay, we got a beard too, so this is the now it's a competition, okay? Let's take a look at the details here. You know what I like the most is the fact that there is painting on the eyelids, right? Like, I don't know how you convinced Steph Weezy to do this. I wasn't even...
It's 30 diamonds.
I didn't even see the painting on the eyelids until he closed his eyes. So, is there a way for us to see the painting? Open your eyes one more time. Okay, I guess you can see it. All right, that's pretty good. I don't know. This is the match for the day. This is the Franco. He said. I guess the most Franco thingy is the thing on the top.
You didn't know.
Is that Franco?
No.
Okay, well, you know, what is this thing?
That'd be Belmont.
Oh, that's Belmont. Okay. All right, I gotta say, guys, the winner have to go.
Put that arm up.
The match of the day. With GDI Kyle and Trex, I got some prizes here actually to give to the winners. And ladies and gentlemen, you will love these prizes here. Let me go ahead and take it from our lovely Bruce.
GG's.
Yes, that is right. Why don't we go ahead and open the show? What's inside? And now everyone got one. Sorry, guys.
I'm sorry,
You guys
Zero.
did a fantastic job.
I dropped
We'll eat after, but dude, this is just too good. Yeah, just go ahead and throw it down there. Let's take a look. Oh, the mouse pad. That's right. Hey, which one's better, Layla or Fanny?
I'll take this one. Definitely gonna have to go with the Layla.
I think they're both really good. And by the way, this is not for sale. We got exclusive merch right here. And you watching at home, don't you think Uncle Dave forget about all of you guys watching? We got some special stuff for you to take home as well. Yes, 8 Hydro Lightborn skin. Yeah, redeem them now. The code is displayed on screen with the redemption link in description. Make sure to get your Tigreal skin. Stop typing Uncle Dave is the best, okay? Move fast. Just get your skin. And we'll get your code. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go on a short break. When we'll come back, we will find out who will go home packing and who will go to Jakarta. See you soon.
彼女を守り世界を守る。竜は死の深淵から舞い戻る。フェニックスは不死身だ。砲剣魔剣。砲剣魔剣。
Now we're back in the Poker Go studio all the way in Las Vegas, Nevada. I can see the crowd being excited right now. Are you guys enjoying the show? Let me hear you guys. It seems like the crowd is riled up, guys. And I'm excited too to watch the entire tournament. We still got a few more games to go. Potentially, it is 3-0 to the Valley. Match point, do or die at this point. How are we doing, guys?
What a roller coaster this has been, but so far it's been an uphill roller coaster for the Valley. Now, us, we've had a lot of fun here tonight. We've really enjoyed ourselves, but I'm honestly, Private, I really want the Simpsons to just take one, at least one. Give me a game, Simpsons, give me a game. I want a story to tell when I go home.
Well, it's gonna take something magical here just because the Simpsons have come out with a plan and they've shown that they have a plan. However, it always seems like the Valley is just one step, no, I can't even say that one. It's almost 2 steps ahead because even we can't predict when I consider myself pretty decent at seeing how these drafts are gonna unfold. Whether it comes to Grok switching up at the last moment to an XP laner, whether it comes to having a Maya pick out there as well, or Yusun Shin coming out. It's been a match and a series full of surprises.
Now, I know our casters want a story to take home. Now, we actually asked a few players about their stories. How do they think about their chances of winning today? Let's take a listen.
I think later today, to beat the Simpsons, we just kind of have to play our own game and be confident. Don't let the stage distract us from our goal of just defeating them. And I think we've practiced enough for it, so as long as we just play our game and what we're used to, we should be all right.
What do we need to beat the Valley? Simple, just outdraft them. I don't think there's any chance for them to win.
We need to watch out for Mobazane.
I think the Valley could only lose this. I don't think that the Simpsons will be able to ever win this as long as we're playing our best game.
If you lose confidence, how are you gonna win to the Valley?
I mean, the Valley, all of the players are known, so they're expected to win. I think OSB, they have no chance because all of them like first time on the stage, so I don't think they can win at all. We need to be more cautious to the map. That we don't let the Valley roam around. The Valley are famous. They have a previous tournament experience. They went to international tournaments. That's why everyone is betting them to win.
The only way they win is if one of us just somehow has like a seizure and can't play.
Well. Fried Chicken saying, literally the only way the Simpsons are going to win is if one of us has a seizure. I mean, and then Zane also follows up with, in the beginning of that statement, is the Valley could never, the only way we lose this is if we lose this. The Simpsons cannot beat us. We would have to come in and just completely throw, and at this point, it's starting to look like that.
Yeah, hoping there some Simpsons fan out there trying to blink some lights a lot to see if they can put the odds in the Simpsons' favor right now. We are going to go ahead and get into the fourth draft, the fourth and possibly final draft of the night.
At the same time, you got to give the boys of Simpsons, right? They were showing confidence. Eugene's interview, he said particularly, if you don't have confidence, how are you going to have a chance, even on the stage, against someone like the Valley? These teams, yes, they're against the behemoths, but they're not afraid. They're coming in, they've done a really good job, in my opinion, right? Those plays coming out from Marvel, finding those flicker ultimates is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. Honestly, I can't, even though this could end here and now with a full sweep, I cannot take anything away from the Simpsons. They showed up tonight, right? They showed up, and they look pretty calm out there. They look pretty in pace. The problem is the Valley, they're just monsters, man. And I don't know if I see the Simpsons coming back to take a reverse sweep here, but if they can pull off a game or two, it will definitely make this a night to be remembered.
And no matter what happens here tonight, somebody from NA is winning, and that's for me. I mean, honestly, regardless who wins, NA wins tonight, and that's what I am happy about, and that is what I'm going to be going home with. We're going to go ahead and start off this draft. I mean, this very familiar. What we've been seeing from them, and I'm wondering if maybe now is the time to start changing it up a bit to try to pull out all the stops here for this fourth match.
I mean, the Valley, they won with Mia last game, right?
Yeah.
They won with some picks that you don't really expect, and this is the game they can really relax. This is their match point. They don't have no stress at all. They can show off whatever character they would like to play. The pressure is on the Simpsons. You've seen the ban on Alice, Akai, Karina. Again, the same bands targeting Mobazane. Is this going to pan out?
I don't know. The Simpsons, like you said, they lost against Mia, they lost against YSS, they lost against something the Valley doesn't normally always use. So maybe the Simpsons were a little bit wrong in their video. Maybe it's not just the draft. And I've been pointing it out since before this whole thing started that I think the Simpsons' real issue in some of these team fights and some of these situations is they're just too spread out in critical situations. And like you said, Private, the Valley is always 1, 2, or 3 steps ahead of them. Not even in the draft, but in that gameplay. When it comes to these huge objectives, the Valley knows when to pull Chicken back, when to pull the teammates in and make the fight go in their favor.
Well, not just that, but we've been talking about the individual players, the skill level of them. Shark, Hoon, Basic, Zane, Fried Chicken. And people have been talking about how maybe they need more synergy and things like that. Here we've seen just how great players are able to play off of each other. Shark being one of the biggest ones that come to mind here is his ability to get those sets, his ability to save that bulwark until right before a Lord is about to go down, to make sure that he's protecting it. It's been an amazing job by all of them. And when they put that together, it's becoming poetry. Poetry here that you don't usually see too often here in North America with the synergy that you get and on another level.
I don't know how to top that. Poetry is just such a romantic word, you know? Especially on the stage of NACT today. Oh my God. Remember, every single player from the Valley, they actually has been on the big stage, have been on an esports stage. They know what to do. And ladies and gentlemen, speaking of poetry, we got Harith being taken out.
Not just Harith, but Gushin and Harith, the two picks I've been wanting to see so bad tonight.
So with Basic picking up that Harith, that means we're going to be. And what's interesting to me is I never thought about Harith, especially right now. I've been thinking about him more in the mid lane. This seems like it's a possibility of that going to be going into that gold lane there. And we do know that he does need items. He does need to get that cooldown down so that when that Zaman Force comes out, he's able to kind of connect all of his abilities one by one without any type of slowdown there. Do we have an answer for?
Okay. All right, Dave.
The Kadita. Now, is this going to be a support Kadita? Or it's going to be a Milan Kadita? You have the Grok for the setup. Now, Kadita likes to play its assassin style, and Kadita can do really well. It's all about ambushing, right? I think Trax mentioned a lot of times with ambush in this series. With Kadita and Gushin, it's about who ambush who better.
I like it. I like assassin versus assassin, hit versus hit.
That's
who
right.
Who can play the waiting game correctly? Who will be the James Bond of this match, right? So the thing is, my worry about the Kadita is, you know, two hard targets are going to be really hard to knock up. A Harith and a Gushin. Those are two quick, mobile, dashy, jump around your face type of heroes, and it's not going to be easy for this Kadita to nail them down.
It depends on how you play it. If you wait for Gushin to get that incandescence on to kind of jump towards you, hit him with the Petrify before he lands, then get a knockup. If you're playing it in that way, because you can count on Gushin. You can count on him doing one thing, and that's zooming towards you to try to get all those blades onto you. And if you use that, you have the Petrify ready. I think there is, I see where they're trying, where their thought is here.
Exactly. Remember, Chicken mentioned seizure, right? I mean, that's exactly what's happening, right? The Petrify is that. Exactly just that, right? You jump in with the Petrify combo, the rough wave. I mean, what is Gushin gonna do? Getting a seizure, right? That's exactly what's gonna happen in this match, at least in the mind of Team Simpsons.
Most definitely now with the second set of bans coming in. The Valley will ban out the Esmeralda. On the side of the Simpsons, they're going to take out this Matilda. Try to limit down on to Shark here, which I think is a good idea, because even though Zane has been getting so many MVPs, you're just not banning out his hero pool. But you can at least limit down to what Shark can do to your team, and you've already taken the Grok from him. You've already done that, right? So maybe some possible answers, and I like the way they could be thinking about these bans. Whoa.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and see the Estes get taken out there. It's a very interesting ban there from The Simpsons, and a Shark going to go ahead and pick up the Cho. Something we don't see him on too often. However, we did see him in a few scrims with it, and he is actually kind of incredible on him.
Yeah, Shark, the big stage tank player, he has a hero pool deeper than I can imagine. I mean, this guy, when I interviewed him, I asked Shark, why do you play Mathilda over Grok? This was before anything was changed to Grok, right? This character has just always been good. He said, I prefer Mathilda because, you know, I like it. I'm more comfortable. But I know, and everybody else know, that Shark was known for the Grok. You know, going to the M3, he was known to be one of the best Grok players in the world, just to show you how deep the hero pool really is on this player.
So I think what we need to see from the Simpsons here this time, I want to see a bulky jungler, because we already know what the Valley's going to do. They're going to push in. You've got Shark on this tank, and hold on. So wait a second. Wait a second. So does that mean Benedetta jungle? Benedetta jungle, right? Cold World on the Brody and the Phoveus in the EXP lane. Now, Phoveus has definitely been kind of hit or miss, but it could definitely be an answer to a lot of what the Valley has brought. The thing is, though, I'm pretty sure we've seen Valley beat Phoveus before, even with big dashy compositions. So the Simpsons need to make sure they do this correctly.
Well, what it seems like is happening here, because they didn't even stop. They didn't even slow down. They picked up that Kagura so quickly. So I think the game plan here is to overwhelm Phoveus with targets. Eventually, if you can all split up, Phoveus is only going to be able to focus on one of you, hopefully. That might be what's going on in there, but it does come down to your execution of these combos, especially being able to protect Phoveus before he can get those demonic forces and things like that. So it's going to be very interesting to see as we move into this fourth game here. It is judgment time for the Simpsons here.
Most definitely now we will be coming into game 4. This is the Simpsons going up against the Valley. This could be match point for the Valley. The Simpsons could be knocked out and the Valley could go forth. Will that happen now, Private?
Yeah, we're going to see how this works out here. Benedetta on the jungle. Very interesting pick there as well. We're going to see if the team is going to be able to go ahead and support the jungle. You do see Eugene over there going to go ahead and help with the push there to kind of get Benedetta a lot to try to get her to clear quicker. Oh, Shark already trying to come in here, letting them know that he's here. Oh, and a lot of damage already going on to Eugene here. But, and a pop-up as well. So, I mean, they're already trying to be very aggressive here.
Yeah, very, very aggressive. I mean, these 4 mid laners right here, we've been seeing them go at it for 4 games straight now, right? So definitely excited to see how it goes. But this time, Fallen will come towards the purple one first. Zane decided to go for the orange buff instead, and it's the first time we've seen him do that so far.
Yeah, I mean, as far as farming goes, I mean, man, I'll trust Zane's his rotations over anything here. He just knows his ability to kind of get around the map and always have a pathing that will get him farm, that will get him doing something. You'll never catch him kind of sitting around or confused about where he should be going next in here. Now we're still kind of throwing a little Arvel might check the wrong bush.
Yeah, taking a lot of damage. Mobazane wants it, forced to use the flicker. Arvel able to get away, but we're already seeing that Paquito packs a punch.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before. Level 4 is pretty much all you need. I don't even think he was a level. Yeah, he was level 4 there. So I mean, as soon as you get level 4, you're pretty much dropping bombs on the people there, especially with those combos. We're gonna see, and we start seeing a little bit of a pancake up here. We're gonna come up to the top. 3 members of the Valley. Fortunately for Promise, he sees it coming and is able to kind of scout that out from them.
Yeah, he's ready, but wait a second. A little bit of action. They do try to make the engage on Promise. He's able to get away. Wait, no, a lot of damage. Uses the demonic force. Comes on to Chicken. Hold on, is that Chicken on this Gushin right now in the off lane? We never called it. This is a Gus off lane. That just makes it so much more interesting. And Basic getting picked off in the bottom lane on this Harith. Now the turtle is up. Fallen trying to make his way into it. Mobazane also there. A nice way the dragon. Eugen picks up the turtle and Fire Chicken goes down along with Mobazane. It's a 3-for-0 trade. The Simpsons, for the first time, taking a strong lead in the first few minutes.
4-0 right now. What a powerful lead for the Simpsons. They are saying they are pulling out all the stops here tonight and even able to get a decent amount of gold off of this top tower as well. They are here to play.
Most definitely. White Chicken coming back into this, and he's definitely got a rough matchup up there against Phoveus, right? Like a very rough matchup. And as long as Phoveus plays that right, he should be able to get ahead. He's definitely not like going against an Esmeralda, going against some other EXP laner normality, right? To where he has to worry about getting a stalemate. He just needs to not die right here. And when we get in this mid game, the Simpsons are going to come even harder. All right, so now at this point, we're going to see the Simpsons continuing to push in. It is 4-1 in the Valley, slowly falling behind for the first time we've seen in a while. Nice Yukon Doe, Fallen, getting a little bit of damage. Tries the Electo, not able to get away though. Able to finally dash away because the first one got canceled, so he's able to use it again there. A nice play. White Chicken and Promise continue to go at it here. Super Shark though. This is the thing, right? Shark and Arvel, in the beginning, kind of like deucing it out there. Both of them in each other's face, but Arvel did not want to let up. And then now we do see that rough waves come in. Shark is bulky enough. Basic comes in with Zon's Force, trying to ward them away, but Shark is brought down low and forced to go back to base here. Fallen now entering the fray into this mid lane along with Arvel, but look at Zane just waiting in that bush. That is like the pick spot for the Paquito. That mid lane bush just waiting for someone to walk by. You dash through. Oh, he steals that jungle.
Yeah, I mean, God. Still 4-1 here, and just look at the gold. They're not even that far behind is the Valley, so they're still trying to keep up here, even though they are behind in kills, still with the macro game here. But we are moving into this next hurdle here and waiting to see if the Valley are going to go ahead and put pressure on it or just decide to kind of move around for a different objective on the map.
I mean, Zane's going to blue buff right now, right? Wait a second. White Chicken tries to get the play. Fallen does pick up the turtle, but Demonic Force comes down. Chicken in a little bit of trouble. Electro final blow followed up, and Chicken is turned to fried chicken quite quickly.
Yeah, and down at the bottom they tried to make a play as well too, but not able to pick up the kill. It is 5-2 game here right now. The Simpsons trying to put onto the pressure of the Valley here. I don't know what they ate during that break, but man, they came here as monsters.
Definitely, man. They must, I mean, you know, they're taking it. They took some losses, and right now they're still keeping their composure. Now it's not going to be easy, though, right? We know the Valley's known to come back even from a deficit, but the Simpsons, I think, just need to not let up.
Yeah, we see here very good. They're keeping momentum here, keeping moving, keeping adjusting here on the map with the rotations. We've got 4 members here. Ooh, 4v4 here, possibility. They're all trying to make sure that they have this and looking for the possible. Ooh, Fried Chicken, a little bit of trouble.
That is bad, that is bad, that is bad. Can he get away? Oh, Zane! The counterplay, Demonic Force goes off. He's still enough shield. Eugen comes in. Zane locked in and taken out. This is the Simpsons.
They came here to play. They are not letting up there. And Zane overbiting on that just a little bit as the rest of the Simpsons come in to save. And this is the Simpsons I wanted to see here. The team, the unit, the synergy from them to be able to have each other's back, especially when you think they're going to be falling behind.
This is huge, but they still can't get too confident. Wait a second. Way the Dragon does lock onto Fallen. In comes White Chicken. Gets a lot of damage, but still not enough. Fallen able to dash through. Bob, weave, try to get away. Here they come with a wild charge, knocking them up. Valley now on the run. Fallen does get picked off though by Mobazane. Re-engage is happening. Chicken maybe going a little bit too deep. Shot down out of the sky as Cold World picks up the kill. And while all this is happening, Promise trying to take this tower in the mid lane.
Yeah, which is very interesting. Oh, another pop-up.
Wait a second. Demonic Force smashes Basic into oblivion. It's a 2-for-1 trade and a tower. Simpsons continue to steamroll.
Yeah, it is 8-3 right now. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this replay. Look at Fallen here. Mobazane trying his best, but then gets caught by 3 members of the Simpsons. Promise walks away unscathed there. But then as the fight kind of continues there, and they went as well up to the top lane. Promise able to go ahead and push in that mid turret, trying to make some use out of that engagement.
And you know, they've been sticking together this game. They have actually been coming together in those crucial moments. They're not letting people get picked off. Right there, Promise could have got picked off. Wait a second, Sharp with the way of the Dragon. Hoon is here. Yin Yang overturn, secures that kill. Eugen goes down. Next, we're going to see Arvel decide to back off along with Promise. So Valley finally finding a pick.
Yeah, and right now we're still kind of waiting as we try to transition into this mid and
my God.
Torn apart memories from out of nowhere. Take down Basic, and it is now a 9-4 game. Only about a 2K gold lead though, so not completely out of the woods yet are the Simpsons.
This is very true. I mean, with the gold lead that the Valley normally has when they have that many more kills, it is huge, and it just goes to show the Valley's farming ability, even when losing. You know, they're just able to keep up. But the Simpsons are definitely keeping it very cool, calm, and collective here. Shark trying to find something. Fallen goes in with that Electro final blow. He feels confident to be able to get away here, and he knows he can. A nice play. Wait a second. Eugen looking for something. Pops the rough waves. Pops the rough waves. White Chicken able to zone out. Eugen pays the price. Cold World picks up Hoon, though. 1-for-1 trades. Mobazane looking for something here. Caught up in this wall. Simpsons maybe trying to re-engage this fight, but decide to back off and aim for this top tower.
Yeah, and right now, now, this is a surprising position. I know the Valley are on their back foot now, thinking this must be what it feels like to play against us, because right now this is kind of unheard of for them right now to be on their back foot. Oh, Zayman Force comes out though.
Yeah, but Arbel's very, very tanky. Demonic Force to follow up the other Force. Zane looking for something here. Cold World trying to get away with all he can. The Seal able to get away, and Zane goes too deep, knocked up. Eugen takes the kill. Now on the backside, Demonic Force still going on to all members. Simpsons trying to roll forward. Another Demonic Force pops. Another one comes in, and another one might fall, but the Simpsons not able to get any more than Zane, so they decide to back off, but more towers are falling. The Valley is crumbling.
11-5 now, finally expanding that gold lead to almost 6K. Have the Simpsons right now. Starting on this Lord, there's not going to be much that the Valley can do to stop it. And man, what is going on? We do have a pause coming out here, but man, what an exciting and intense game so far.
What a pause. I mean, what a game, whatever you want to call it. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. I mean, I was watching on the side. The freaking play from Promise. He promised the show and he gave us a show.
He promised the show and he gave us a show for sure. But not just Promise, the rest of the team, Dave. They got there to save Promise in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's been kind of the main story here. And what we've been talking about when it comes to the Simpsons is you need to stop making those mistakes. You need to stop going out on your own. And if you do go out on your own, the rest of the team needs to be able to answer, to collapse onto the Valley when they catch you out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I gotta say, can Simpsons keep this up? That's the most important thing, right? Because we know Valley is known as a team that can come back from immense pressure. Here we go.
We're gonna see if they can keep it up here, Dave. Maybe not. Still a couple technical issues. I mean, it happens, right? Things like this happens. And honestly, the fact that we haven't had a single pause until now,
yeah,
pretty great. Pretty great in my book.
NA technology, baby.
Well, I mean, like I said, I don't know who gave the valiant speech during that halftime, but they deserve a promotion because the Simpsons have come out strong. They have come out with something to prove, and they are not going quietly into the night.
Yeah, they're not going quietly. Can they do this? Can Promise step it up? One more inch, one more step, and really take the team forward. I'm looking forward to it because they got a lot of counter in this game.
Yeah, now, not only Promise though, but Fallen as well on this Benedetta, right? We've seen him, he's comfortable right now. He is in his zone. We wanted them to be comfy, and they are there right now. I mean, the man has gone in, dived, been in between three members of the Valley and able to just move along through and not get caught down.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing too, because we did see a bunch of Benedetta bans from the Valley, and this is the reason why the last bans, the last draft that we had, kind of a hodgepodge there, and them letting it get through, letting the Simpsons get onto that Benedetta, and you see why it was such a something that was at the top of their list to be banned out.
Yeah, here we go. We're taking a look of what's on camera. You can see the Valley, despite being so behind, they're so happy, they're smiling for some reason. I mean, have you seen a team this relaxed from behind?
Can we talk about the fact that Zane has his AirPods in right now? He's like, listen, I'm good. I don't really want to wear those big headsets. I'm gonna rock my AirPods. I love to heap. I mean, that's just, because those are meant to like cancel out the crowd, right? So Zane's just feeling comfortable. He's like, listen, I like the crowd. I want to hear the screams. I want to hear the victory come.
That might be what they're working on right now.
Maybe. Unfortunately. It was a good story.
That's actually, the AirPods actually goes to the phone so they can hear the game volume. And then they have the other headset on top to separate from the crowd. I think it's something that related to not being able to hear voice comp, but take a look at this NACT Cup, the trophy that's shipped all the way across the ocean, across the world, and now arriving at the Poker Girl studio. The other side of the Simpsons, they're feeling confident.
Yes, you're right, Dave. They all do have AirPods in. I was wrong. My story was incorrect, but it sounded great now. Yes, the Simpsons look very confident. Look at those smiles. Look at those glances. And someone must have gave a speech. Maybe the manager, Nami. Maybe somebody went back there during that break and was like, listen, guys, listen. We got to step it up here. We got to do something. We got to show that just even if we get second place here, we're still one of the strongest teams and can take games away from the Valley.
Yeah, and they're going to need to be the stronger teams. They're going to need it to be and have that something. I mean, I said it before. What is it going to take? It's going to take something magical, and that is what we are seeing here right now. And it's been an amazing year too to watch them, especially like I was saying before. What I've wanted to see from them is these mechanical heroes, these assassins that a lot of people, especially overseas, have been saying North America doesn't have assassin players. We can't play that stuff. Well, there's a reason that you don't see it too often in a lot of these online events because of the lag. Here now, everybody here together, you're seeing what North America is made of.
Yeah, and it is such a big region, and that's why we got a big prize pool, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, this prize pool is showing regional, and the team who get the ticket will go to Worlds and fight for $800,000. But let's take a look of what the two teams are fighting for. The first and second collectively is $13,000. That's 4-0 behind that one. I mean, that's a lot of zeros. We need those zeros, to be honest.
Yes.
You know, Las Vegas is a really cool place, and we need those zeros for those cool places.
It's a whole lot of Wan cosplays. That's right. It's a lot of it's a whole lot of merch. It's a lot of those things that we all want and need for sure. Now, can the Valley come back here? Right, like. We know they're known for this. They're known for pulling it out to the end game. So can the Simpsons be victorious over this Private as we jump back into this game?
Yeah, I mean, we're about to find out. But I mean, right now, this is a position that you don't see the Valley in very often. This is what we've been seeing the Simpsons in. And what do we say when the Simpsons was there is that it's very hard. You have to wait for a mistake. And this is something that the Simpsons need to be very careful about, is because if you do make that mistake, especially as we start moving more into the later and later game, where one single mistake can mean a lord, can mean a push or a wipe for your team. And that's what we're going to have to watch out for, especially if I'm a Simpsons player.
And speaking of lords, that one is marching down the top lane. Being very careful with that demonic force. He knows he needs to use it a bit later because he could use it right now, but Promise is being patient. Now they're going to move on to this middle tower. Lord is not even connected yet, so though they didn't sync up waves, it was a nice kind of miss sync there. Nice kind of miss push. They got a little bit of material. Can they get more? Lord going to make the crash very, very soon. Able to connect, not a Luminous, so it's not actually going to make that crash. Valley able to melt it down. Simpsons not going too deep. They don't want to push it, but there it is! Shark taking down Rough Waves from Eugen, securing the kill. Bringing that tower down to about 75%, and the Simpsons are not stopping yet. Repositioning themselves, waiting for another pick. In comes Demonic Force, Electo, final blow, onto the side. Moon forced to back off, but the tower still falls. Valley looking for something. Zane coming around the top side, gets knocked up, takes a lot of damage. Now, Arvel gonna take down that tower as the rest of the Simpsons close in for this. They don't want to move in just yet. They want to take it all. They want to crumble down these towers one by one, but Zane looking for it, misses. The flicker comes in, and the Simpsons now a little bit on the run here. Need to back off. Nice way to Dragon. Fried Chicken does go down. Here comes Arvel. Big wild charge, and the Valley is annihilated. Basic is gone. One man left, but Promise wants it all. Game 4 will go to the Simpsons.
Oh my God, they did it, and this is what we were talking about, that something magical that they have brought here tonight.
That is huge. That is huge. Private. I mean, it's 3-1. It's 3-1. One more, and then the Valley can take the rest. I'm just kidding.
You know what I want to say?
What? Oh. Apes strong together. Most definitely. Drop the gorillas in the chat.
This is what we have been waiting for, and what we've been talking about, especially as casters, is that we need them to play together. We need them to cover for each other, and you see what happens when they do that.
Most definitely. I mean, the Simpsons come in, and in a fashionable way, right? They take that game very, very cleanly. And you said it during the game, they were pulling a Valley. They were pulling a Valley, coming in very, very strong. Now, the Valley, I don't know. We know that when they take a loss, they normally come back hard.
As we take a look at the stats here, you can see Promise. I mean, the MVP there. Maybe a little eager on the Valley side, especially picking up that Kagura at the end, right after the Phobius pick there as well. So, I mean, basically you had a buffet for that Phobius, for that demonic force. There was nothing you were going to be able to do in any type of engagement that he was not going to be able to kind of feast on.
Promise, the MVP, I mean, well deserved. This guy, like we said, promised a show, he delivered a show. Now, I do want to point out another thing that a lot of viewers actually did not know. Before the entire tournament, I talked to Cold World. He said, I said, dude, how are you feeling about our tournament? You guys are going against the Valley. Are you ready? Have you prepared? Cold World said, Dave, if I'm not winning, I'm not going, okay? I'm winning this. And you can see that's the confidence that I wanted to see from game one, Team Simpsons really took it home in this game from beginning to end. Very, very solid gameplays. Look at some mechanics. We talk about Fallen, the assassin players, even in game 3. The Ling, the Secures on the Retributions. It's just beautiful to watch. And now seeing so many assassins played by Team Simpsons, able to win. Now, obviously, we do have the Harris, a little bit experimental from Valley in the particular game. Still, you got to give it to Simpsons for winning this game.
Most definitely. Not only that, it's been an amazing experience in all this. The crowd has been cheering when either team gets these big picks. Everyone knows that, like you said, Private, NA is winning tonight, right? NA is winning, and the crowd knows it. I mean, yes, everybody has a favorite, but everybody is hyping up both of these teams right now, and that is one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, you see them, how excited the Simpsons were there on camera, and so, I am excited too, just because I want to see how this develops. That last match too, with Benedetta there, you saw a lot of dashes coming out from the side of the Valley there, maybe trying to counter that Benedetta. They're trying to see and test the limits, because they were banning it before, brought it out, and thought maybe we have a plan. But then maybe not thinking far ahead when you bring out all of that mobility and still had the Phobius open.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, usually in MPL, just for Paquito alone, you would have banned out the Phobius, right? I mean, now we have Phobius completely open. Like I said, it's just a little bit experimental coming out from the Valley. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn the bell on all notification bells. You can see we have a little bit of stats of Promise.
Yeah, Promise getting the MVP, first MVP for the side of the Simpsons here. KDA with 4, 0, and 7. That is a 0. That is that's clean. I don't think we've seen a 0 KDA yet tonight. Maybe Mobazane got it. Maybe I missed it. I forget.
Even with the ganks up to that lane as well. I mean, they tried. Mobazane was there. Promise was very, very low. But like we said, you have the rest of the team. When the rest of the team is there to kind of support, you saw kind of Mobazane kind of thrown off of his rocker a bit there. Maybe overextending, maybe just not anticipating like he usually can when he gets a little flustered and gets behind.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you put Zane behind, you kind of put the Valley behind. We've seen this over and over again. Can Simpson catch on to this trend and really punish in the next game and take us maybe game 6, right? Because we're going to the game 5. And remember, guys, this is still an uphill battle because still match point for the Valley. So for Team Simpsons, their back is against the wall. I mean, if you are the coach, Drex, any suggestions for the boys?
For the Simpsons?
Yeah.
For the Simpsons, just keep going. And to anyone listening right now, game 6, game 6, game 6. Because that's what we all want, right? We all wanted a show. Honestly, yes, my prediction in the very beginning of this was that the Valley was going to take it, but I want at least 6 games. I wanted a back and forth bloodbath. I wanted these games to drag because I like sitting here and talking. So, Simpsons, come through for me and give us a game 6.
And ladies and gentlemen, where else are you going to get a show this exciting as we take a look at the stats between Co-World and Basic on the Gold Lane Private?
Yeah, you can see that 5.28 for the kills. I mean, especially leading in the kills over Basic. However, as we have talked about this before when it comes to the Valley, their movement, their placement here is so good. So even though not bringing up as many kills, not taking as many chances is Basic, so he doesn't have that high of a kill ratio on that.
Look at those players. I mean, I just want to say again how handsome our boys are. Out there on the stage playing the game so relaxed. They got to represent and we're ready. They come here prepared. Look at his hairstyles, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, and like we said, we were worried about the Simpsons, and now I think they finally kind of found their groove. They're smiling, they're hanging out, they're enjoying themselves. They got the crowd cheering for them a couple games, so now we are jumping into the 5th draft.
Yes, and I can't tell you how excited I am for this one too. Gonna see if maybe we're gonna go ahead and maybe lock down that Benedetta again, especially because, I mean, we just saw an example of what you're gonna face if you give that up to the side of the Simpsons.
Oh my God, Atlas, 100% banned tonight.
Yes, 100% banned.
What is going on with Atlas? What has made this guy just come to the 100% ban tonight?
Fatal links. Fatal links, man. Fatal links. It's kind of similar to like when the Franco was very popular there for a minute, and it was like all it takes is one hook. You get to 20 minutes, and it can take one hook. All you got to do is get one good pick, and it's a guarantee that you kill them. Same thing with that, except you can maybe get 2 or 3. You can maybe get 2 or 3 hooks and completely take them out. And the funny thing is, both teams have been banning it, but it's normally always the first team, right? It's always first pick, first ban, because here's the risk. You don't want to make Atlas your first pick, right? Yeah. But if you don't prio that, then you're giving over Atlas and something else. So you might as well ban it out.
Yeah, the interesting thing to me tonight is to, as well as Diggy kind of just disappeared from the drafts here, from the series, and I don't remember seeing too much on him. I guess you've already taken out what Diggy would have countered. You have the Atlas already taken out, the Kai taken out there. So I mean, it's just an interesting thing here to use the bans on those instead of maybe being able to pick up Diggy. So.
And to be honest, Mathilda is just such a strong option right now in the support, like a squishy mage support kind of category, right? Like if you go with the tankier jungle, a lot of times we've seen the Mathilda being taken out. And it also is great setup with a lot of the characters in the game.
You know, it's true though, because the Diggy and certain things like Shark still does a great job with it, right? Like even when it's not meant for a counter, like the peel potential of it, like I've seen him just pull people back, create that peel for the team, but now, as these drafts are coming to a close, the Simpsons not changing anything up. Both teams not really changing much up, and normally over a best of 7, we see the bans kind of switch up. The only things that have really gotten added is that Gus, right? The Gushin has to go. But when we look at the entirety of all of these games, the major thing that we've seen change every time is the picks, and especially the Valley picks.
Well, and that's what I was going to go ahead and say too, especially with the same type of bans here. We've been seeing a pretty a plethora of different options being used there. So I mean, it can be anything right now, and that's just kind of telling you the state with some of these updates that happened this week. Is you've got some nerfs, you've got some buffs there, and teams right now are feeling a little bit more flexible when it comes to these drafts.
Yeah, speaking of flexible, Fram is being picked out first, leaving Claude and Grok on the table. Now, some of the most strongest choices currently in the meta, are we going to see Simpsons just take the opportunity to take it out, or are they going to get creative?
That'd be a great pickup. The Claude and the Grok right there, because if that Cult Altar pops, you hit the Wild Charge, and then you bring in that Blazing Duet, and it's just such a good counter to it. And you're right, you give up both of those, and you didn't ban either of them. This could be a huge mistake for the Valley here, though, I gotta say, man, I've seen Hoon on the Faramis, I've seen Shark on the Faramis. Both of them do wonders on it, but when Hoon gets on that Faramis, if they decide to make this a mid, he is aggressive with it. He is a monster with it. He's pulling people back, and they're not using that Cult Altar as a defense mechanism. They're using it as a full-blown attack, but you were close. Instead, they decided to go for the Matilda, but still pick up the Claude.
Well, the interesting thing about the Valley when it comes to a lot of these picks is things that are categorically or customarily used as a roam, the Faramis, the Grok, things like that. We've started seeing the Valley use it into almost like a double support type of composition, where you use the 3 other positions there to kind of fill in that hole of damage that they need there. So not only do you have to worry about the Cult Altar, you also have to worry about a set potential from what Shark would pick right there.
If you're not going to pick the Grok, all right, thank you very much. This is what they call 41 buffet right there. Okay, this is the express to Jakarta, to be honest, for the Valley. They're going to take the Grok and Beatrix. And by the way, I don't want to say where we discuss this, but actually, Basic and I were in the men's restroom. We're talking about the strength of Beatrix, and he told me, Dave, you gotta watch out for me taking out that character because tonight I'm about to bring the path of destruction.
That's Dave looking for any moment to get the scoop for these matches. But we're going to be moving into the second banning phase of this match.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this Grok, the problem I see right now for the Simpsons is just the dive potential. Not only do they have the Grok, but they have the Fermis, and it's just so much pressure that they can bring when they get their spike. I mean, really from early to late game, OSB need to find answer. Now we are coming into these bans, like you said, Privaten. OSB gonna take out that Phoveus, towards Valley gonna take out the Lilia.
Yeah, I do like the Phoveus ban here, especially with the picks that you have out here. So, and especially, you have a decent amount of early game. If you could put the pressure on to the Valley early in this game. And we do know that that is probably one of the weaker points for the Valley because they just, when it comes to the NACT, they have not been challenged in that way, and we have seen them falter when they're behind, when their backs are against the wall, against Vendetta, the very close games that they've had against it. So I mean, it's very interesting to see.
I just want to point out there's a Lolita ban from Simpsons. You know,
I like it.
They expected Chicken is gonna be on that Grok silent again, so they're like, nah, we're having none of that, right? So we're gonna ban out Lolita. It's quite interesting because it's like half and half. We ban out the Phoveus because it counters so many of our characters, but also, yeah, we're not gonna have that Lolita open either.
And they're covering their bases, which I kind of like, right? Like they know the flexibility for the Valley, they know the possibilities, so they decide, you know what, we're not taking the risk. That Lolita, if Shark picks it up, is a huge counter to the team, right? It's counter to the Matilda, it's counter to the Claude. It just really kind of hammers them down. We've already seen how well Shark can do in the. I mean, this is literally what happened in a few games ago. We had the Grok get picked up, and then they flexed it over, and the Lolita went on to Shark. So they don't want to repeat of that game because that game was rough.
Well, it's because it's almost kind of to the point like, do you actually want to give Shark the Grok? But I mean, the enemy you know is less dangerous than the one you don't. And if you give a Shark an opportunity to pick up something else that has a setting potential there with that regen and the ability of that Cult Altar from Hoon possibly, I mean, here's the thing is it's just so flexible and with what the Valley can do with this composition. And we've seen them put all of these, well, except with the exception of Beatrix. But you know what, at this point, I wouldn't even be surprised if I saw Beatrix like mid lane or something. Ooh.
Hold on.
Yuzhong coming out.
Dave, what are we looking at right now?
We're looking at, I don't know. This is exciting. That's all I care about, right?
Zane, on?
Yeah. I mean, by the way, if you watch the stream, this guy has been practicing him on for quite some time now. He's ready to take it out tonight. It's going to be very, very exciting. We also have Yuzhong taken out, which is also the first time being taken out in tonight's grand finals. Farsa, really, really good choice against Faramis, right? You can really bait out the Cold Altar and then force the enemy team into a corner.
You know, fun story. The very first time I ever casted over a game was a BTK game, and Chicken was killing it on the Yuzhong. I mean, one of the most epic moments from that series about this time a year ago. So definitely hyped to see how he plays it. We've been seeing that Yuzhong slowly kind of come back into the meta again and be kind of viable, not just here, overseas, all over the world. So I'm definitely thinking, knowing Chicken and how well he does on it, this could be a game changer.
Well, the thing is, especially he has that synergy with the Faramis as well. So you can activate that Black Dragon. The Cult Altar comes out, so now he's got that mobile immortality for him. So he doesn't have to worry about being bursted down when he comes down on top of players. But folks, go ahead and strap in. We are at game 5 of this series. The Valley taking on the Simpsons.
Yes, the Valley are taking on the Simpsons, and look at this, already a little bit of a high IQ play, stopping some of those minions, stalling these waves, right? So the Valley, big dive composition. We want to get in your face. We want to hit these wild charges. We want to knock everybody up and wipe you out. Now, the Simpsons, on the other hand, a little bit squishier, right? A little bit more of a mobility and a front-to-back composition. You have this Farsa in the back line, needing to get a good position to drop that ultimate, drop that feathered airstrike, and then you have Fallen and you have Promise on this Paquito and on this Benedetta, who are going to kind of hold down the front side along with this Matilda. So, like I said, slightly different compositions. Let's see which ones can come out on top.
Yeah, interesting thing about that wall coming out there does mean that those minions are going to be closer to the Valley's side there, meaning that you're going to put Eugen out of position. He's going to have to press a little further, put himself out in harm's way, potentially to kind of clean up the lane and try to get farm there.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Zane wants on this Amon, right? And who would have thought we'd see? I mean, he's played the Karina now he's playing the Amon. He's just a full-blown assassin player at this point.
Yeah, and we're going to see how well he can farm. That's one of the biggest surprises for me is Amon's going ahead. Amon's ability to rotate, how fast he can farm as well. Kind of able to keep up even with some of the tankier junglers when it comes to clearing out the jungle.
Fun fact though, even though it's not a lot, Simpsons for the first time, it's only 100 gold, and it was like 200 seconds ago. They are out farming them a little bit in this laning phase. And I know when we talk about 100, 200 gold, it's not a lot, but so much throughout these past 5 games, the Valley has always laned faster, always pathed faster through these jungles. So the Simpsons definitely learning as we go through, and now we're onto the turtle.
Yeah, we do see them going ahead, starting on this turtle. We do have Eugen does have that feathered airstrike as well. So, I mean, they're in a good position here, are the Simpsons, but the Valley kind of have other things on their mind. Hoon does come in with a Cult Altar from that of his own there. Wasted a little early. Down comes the feathered airstrike. A flicker comes out from Shark, but you do see that feathered airstrike a little bit out of position to really rain down damage. Here comes the Endless Shards, but it is not enough to take down Arville. Up goes Eugen with the pop-up there, and we see Fallen able to get that Lord, get that turtle. Fly Chicken goes down as well. Simpsons are in a great position here right now, 0-1 and a turtle in their pocket.
Yeah, and that's going to skyrocket them a bit in these stages. Fly Chicken goes a bit too deep, thinks he has it, gets stunned up by Eugen from that Farza under the mid tower, invites the bullet for it. Not only that, but Fallen with the quick fingers. Who would have ever thought Zane would be getting out-retried this many times in a matter of 5 games?
Well, and that comes down to the planning from the Simpsons, able to force out that Cult Altar early, meaning that when Fly Chicken comes in there, he doesn't have that mobile immortality for him, and he gets bursted down quite quickly during that fight. So great planning when it comes. Oh, Promise coming in, putting on the damage onto Fly Chicken there, waiting for him in the bush there, and is going to go ahead and start cutting this lane.
You know, little things like that is what's showing that the Simpsons are feeling more confident. Promise pushing into Chicken this time, and maybe this is what they need to do all along. Oh, but maybe pushing too much because Zane just one-shots him, and that's the problem with the Amon. That damage is very high.
Yeah, and especially as we move into here, when you're able to go ahead and get that passive, get those stacks, get those shards on the ground, that Endless Shards is going to be doing an immense amount of damage, especially before the team can go ahead and get a Radiant Armor that will be able to prevent all that. Here comes the Feathered Airstrike there. We do see that Cult Altar comes out. It is going to save the team, but really not much happening from the side of the Simpsons, not able to make anything happen there. And Eugen, I mean, here's the problem. I don't want to say that he's scared, but he's being smart about where he's positioning with those feathered airstrikes. However, it is leaving him just out of reach to really have an effect with them.
No, well, I would argue, though, we're still in the early phases, and he's doing enough damage, and he's just keeping the Valley away. And that damage he put a second ago, if there was a full 5 there, the rest of the team could have followed up and wiped them down, right? So as the game goes forward, I think if Eugen can pull that type of thing off, and I think he needs to be careful with his position. You have an Amon on the board, you have Hoon on the board who can pull you back, so it's definitely dangerous. I would argue that maybe he has the possibly good position to wait a second turtle.
Yeah, they are going to go ahead and latch on. You see that basic on there with that sniper lying in wait. Fallen able to pick up the turtle there to reduce the Endless Shards come down. Fallen is trying to latch on there. Mobazane goes down there with a blazing away. Out comes the Black Dragon. Is he going to be able to find a target? He is not, as you see where that Matilda pick starting to come in.
Yeah, that is huge for the Simpsons right now. Hold on, nice Petrify.
Yeah, and here comes another Feathered Airstrike. Down goes Fly Chicken. Cult Altar activated by Hoon. Very early. Promise able to get a tower there. We are on the run from the Valley. Valley trying to put up a little bit of defense here, but wisely, the Simpsons starting to disengage.
That is very smart of them, right? And we're seeing something. Game 6? I don't want to call too early, but This is what the Simpsons have been needing to do. Come in, group up.
Yeah,
Counter.
already you can start seeing that those endless shards just not having the effect that Mobazane wants their Fallen. I mean, and this is what you get the value out of that Benedetta, able to dive into the towers, able to kind of use those passives to kind of get out of the damage from it as well.
Yeah, now the Valley, to an answer for them, right? They need to kind of relieve this pressure. Just slow down, maybe not get too crazy. Wait for picks just like this.
Yeah, you see Arvel does get caught there, and the circling eagle comes out. Flicker, is that going to be enough to get him out of the way? He gets caught by Basic there. Tried to put on those twinkle toe moves, but gets picked off there. And this is going to bring it to a 2-3 game, still in favor of the Simpsons.
Now, looking at Cold World, though, taking a peek at his items, he has lucked in the DHS. He is pretty much tied up with Basic, but both of these gold laners are going to be critical, I think, as we creep farther and farther into this game. Who will be the one to make the plays for his team here?
Yeah, and I do like the synergy right now. Cold World sees the invade, or sees the gank starting to come up, gets safely out of harm's way, and then you also have Eugen coming in to provide air superiority and firepower onto them.
And that's the good thing about those. Oh, wait a second.
Yeah, we do see Wild Charge that go out already by Shark. Oh, Fallen able to pick up the turtle. Cold Ultra is out. Is it going to be enough? Ooh, the Sharks come out onto Arvin, who's going to be able to get out of the way. Blazing Duet onto the all of the Valley there. In comes Promise to clean up the work here right now. Arvil goes down. However, Cold World getting picked off. This turned around quite quickly in favor of the Valley right now. Zane trying to find himself an exit here right now. Promise trying to latch on, is not going to put on enough damage.
All right, so Chicken makes a good play there, right? He's down in the bot lane. He's able to use that Black Dragon to come back up top and find a pick. But still, it's a 2-for-1, and both gold laners go down. So with the turtle going inside of Simpsons, they're still holding a gold lead here of about 2,000, right? So Simpsons still kind of have this game in their hands, possibly.
Yeah, and what I'm seeing right now, which is very unusual, is Hoon having a little bit of an issue with the timing of those Cult Altars. Usually he's kind of on point. Well, I guess that happens when you're in when you're in an advantageous position. But when you're behind on gold, it's not as useful to have that Cult Altar on the mage.
And that's kind of the way we've seen it time and time again to deal with the Pharaohs, right? If you can just like get yourself a little bit of a lead, an item or two, you know what I'm saying? Then the Pharaohs, you cannot use it aggressively. You're constantly just using it as a defense mechanism. And at that point, it's really not all that much, you know? It's really nothing too helpful. So the Valley, we know they can still buy time, right? They're not too far behind. They've done well at continuing to farm. So if they can hold on for another few minutes, maybe Mobazane finally gets a nice retry onto Lord.
Ooh, nice game happening here. Endless Shards does go on the Cold World there. Here comes the Cold Altar, but Promise gets taken down. And finally, we see a nice little change up there. Not just defensively to save somebody, but to turn the fight around and then start putting pressure on Chicken coming in there. Oh, Cold World might be in a little bit of trouble there. Does get taken out by Fly Chicken there. Woo-hoo-hoo. Look at that damage now. Eugen goes down as well. That is 3 kills for the Valley right now. This is going to go ahead and set up this next Lord.
Yeah, they just turned the game around in a matter of a minute, right? Fallen still looking for something here, though, all by his own. I don't know if this is the play he wants to make.
Well, I mean, he does have a lot of those abilities that will negate damage. So if he stays around, he can at the very least. Ooh, Promise coming in there with the flicker as well. And the Shards come down here. He's not going to be able to do enough damage. Mobazane able to take down Promise, and we're looking for this Lord right now. Fallen able to steal the Lord from them. They're trying to disengage right now. Are they going to be able to do it? They do it, but you see 2 towers for the side of the Valley. They're able to push in 2 towers during that fight.
Yeah, they're able to take a lot from the Simpsons. So yes, Fallen does pull that off. I'm wondering if he could have pulled it off maybe even without Promise. And they're being I think the Simpsons maybe need to slow down, take a breath for just a second, because now the Valley has gotten some items in, right? They've got enough gold where you can't just like dive in. You have to, yes, the Cult Altar were used as a defense mechanism, but if you go too far and they wait for you to use that Cult Altar like Hoon's been doing now, you're right into the midst of them all, and Promise and Fallen can't do that here.
I don't know what Promise is trying to do. He definitely knows Mobazane is there. But we do have a little bit of engagement possibly happening here at mid. Simpsons are going to go ahead and escort this Lore Fly Chicken coming in with that Black Dragon. Mobazane coming in, a little bit of a conceal there. Now we are swooping all around here. Eugen gets taken out. That is a lot of damage being taken out early. Blazing Duet comes out. Cold Altar has been activated. Endless Charge. Beautiful there by Cold World to get away from those Endless Shards as well. What seems like a great counter to that is having that Matilda on there and waiting to kind of dash away from that ultimate.
Yeah, Arvel's been doing a great job there, right? He's able to pull him away there in the midst of seconds, and he's been doing that constantly. The only problem is Cold World. I think he needs to wait, just like Hoon needed to find the correct timing on that Cult Altar. Cold World needs to do the same thing. He can't pop it too early. He needs to use it in a counteractive measure against the Cold Altar.
Comes in here. Cold World in trouble. Does get taken out. We do have the Feather Airstrike coming down, but it is not enough to save or even punish the Valley for that. Things have swung around. It is a 10-4 game right now. And it does look like almost a 2K gold lead starting to fall into the favor of the Valley.
Yeah, this is bad. The Simpsons need to regroup. They had such a great strategy in last game, and bringing into this one, they started off great, and now we're already seeing them start to spread out a bit more, start to get picked off again. Coming into a pause now, so, I mean, the Simpsons can take this second to regroup, right? Think about what's coming up. Can they take us to a Game 6, or the Valley steam on forward?
Yeah, it's a very interesting matchup there. Not completely out of their grasp yet. No. They are starting to take some hits. The Valley's starting to get a little bit of momentum in there, but they still have a great composition. They are still using it to a great degree.
I mean, in my opinion, I think after a turnaround, the assassin, the downfall, because for whichever side has assassin, right? If you're falling behind, it's gonna get harder and harder from there, right? You're gonna have harder time clearing wave. You're gonna have harder time getting to the enemy backline, and we're already seeing that. And by the way, Fried Chicken has absolutely doing an amazing job so far, right? Cutting to the backline, finding the most opportune time to get to Jin, to get to the Claw. He seems patiently camping into the bush, right? And that is such a Chicken thing to do. I mean, he did that in the previous tournament against some other teams that we've seen, and now. Ooh, it seems like we are fixing tech issue on Zane's side again.
Once again, man, Zane just goes too hard, man. Too hard. He's on fire right now. Lil Booth is lighting amidst the flames and the heat of Mobazane as we move into this. Now, yes, Chicken has done an amazing job, and you know what he's done such a great job as? Dealing with Eugen, man. Dealing with that Farza, because the Farza is really what's been stopping those dives. It's been something that hasn't let the Valley come in. And with a dive composition like that, you need to be able to do that. So as long as Chicken can continue to do that and harass Eugen, I got a feeling the Valley could win this.
Well, it's not just that too, but I mean, one of the strengths of Yuzong is to be able to get into that back lane, and why he fell off is because he's not able to do enough before getting bursted down. But when you have a team like the Valley, who has just, you've been seeing how quickly they can close ranks, it doesn't matter how far Chicken is going in with that Black Dragon, which can be a surprising amount of distance that he can close. The Valley is always there right behind him, as is customary.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. We're going back to the pause to get the problem solved. It's actually just like last game, you know, but don't worry, we're gonna get this issue solved real quickly, but at the same time, I mean, you're definitely put a nail in the coffin there. Exactly right with Yuzong. Yuzong is a character that kind of falls off, skills off towards the late game, but if you're able to find the right time to strike the backline, right, to find the right position to cut into a team fight, it's an absolute beast. And we've seen Chicken do exactly just that.
Most definitely, and as we try to get through these tech issues, it gives us a little bit more time to do what we love, and that is talking. Now, the Simpsons, for example, though, how do they deal with Chicken, right? Do they bait him? Do they kind of do what they did to Hoon that one game a bit? Do they wait for him and set up the ambush? Because once again, I think the only way the Simpsons beat the Valley isn't just raw skill, but the way that they approach these team fights.
Yeah, it's going to be something interesting there because you're not only going to be dealing with fried chicken soon, you're going to be dealing with basic on this Beatrix. And we know she took some nerfs recently, then they I guess changed their mind and brought some buffs back to her. And while her early game can be a little lackadaisical, as you start moving into that mid, as you start moving into that late game, she still packs a pretty big punch.
Yeah, but as much of credit as I want to give to Simpsons, you're absolutely right. I mean, Valley in such a good position right now. Just now with the lore coming in, despite Fallen just finding the retreat time after time.
Wow.
Like, it doesn't matter whether you get the lore if you can't push it in, if you can't take advantage of that huge objective, right? When lore comes in, you have Yuzhong comes in into Jin, and when he's calling, hey guys, I'm onto the Farsa, the Grok, right? Shark just come in, flicker ulti, wall charge. It's GGWPs.
That retreat game not as easy anymore when you're not on the Balmond. So maybe something Zane's gonna have to kind of start brushing up on when it comes to some of those retreats. I mean, he's been kind of a little late to the punch on a lot of those, and it's something that the Simpsons have really been able to take advantage of. Even when they're behind to a point where they can't push towers, it still gives them the breathing room to be able to kind of formulate a plan.
Most definitely. Now, taking a look at this trophy once again, definitely looks great, and I can't wait to the end of the night when we get to see one of these two teams pick that heavy trophy. I'm just joking, guys. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I'm sure 3, 4, 5 of them can handle it. Now, definitely an amazing venue, and we can see still. I mean, we're 5 games in.
Yeah.
We've been here for a few hours now, and everyone just continues to have a good time. Hoon looking a little tired back there, but I still think they got a couple more games in them.
Yeah, absolutely. That baby, that trophy is 45-pound heavy. It's absolutely insane. Ladies and gentlemen, as we see on the screen right now, it is going to be the stats for the entire NACT for Fallen and Mobile in the jungle comparison. What's your thoughts, Private?
Well, I mean, it's been the story throughout all of this, except when it comes to Zane, his damage still does outweigh the Fallen there. So, and that's the interesting thing because as a whole, you know that the Simpsons have had a decent amount of damage to kind of outweigh what they have been putting out. Here, what's amazing to me though is the gold difference here. What? Somebody out farms Zane?
No. You know what that is? The reality of that is Zane's games are quicker. So his average gold can't get to 14. I hate to say it, but that is the reality of that situation right there. Because I don't think there's a single jungler out there out farm. I mean, out across the world, yes, but right now in NA, Zane is one of the fastest farmers around here. Gold rate is to a prime. But yes, what's interesting about that really is that we saw Basic, who was kind of falling behind, and so far in all of these player versus player statistics, we've seen a lot of back and forth. Zane definitely holds it on the jungle, but in the gold lane, Cold World definitely had better stats than Basic. In the XP lane, we were kind of even, but it definitely seems like an even matchup on paper.
Absolutely, and guys, we're here at the Poker Studio. I want to wish everybody happy Halloween. Oh, yeah, it's an exciting time. That face painting just now we did. For real though, I did not recognize that was Belmont, but we're gonna get into the game.
Yeah, we're coming back here right into the fray of things. You see Arvilla out there already. They're not even slowing down. Gonna go ahead and keep on this pressure. They need to have a plan here to kind of go against the Valley here, who has started taking the lead.
And there's just a lot of things to deal with for the Simpsons. Not only do they have to deal with Chicken on this Black Dragon, they have to worry about Hoon with Colt Altar, and now who else is becoming a threat? Basic. Basic has 0 deaths right now. He has 1 death right now, but still holding a lead over Cold World. In the beginning, the marksmen were that's what I'm talking about right there. Arbel in a bad spot here.
Yeah, he is going to go ahead and be able to get out of the way, but what I want to talk about here is Yujin. 0-2 right now. He has been kind of getting flushed out, and that has been the job of a Flied Chicken here. We are going to go ahead and start on this Lord. Not sure if they're trying to bait it out just yet. We see a nice wall there from Shark to go ahead and kind of get that Lord onto their position. He does get popped up for his efforts there, and now just trying to be a nuisance more for that fight there.
Yeah, and I mean, the Simpsons, they don't have eyes on Zane right now, too. So Fallen not overcommitting to this. Zane was actually down in the mid, closer to the bottom jungle there, and it could have been a time, but you can't risk it, right? You have to be careful because he comes in while Fallen's in there, and a big wild charge, it's over.
Oh man, we do see a little fight coming up here, and Arville gets taken out by Basic there. Hoon does get taken out as well. Mage there does Basic get taken out by Eugen, and we have ourselves a fight here. Oh. Wow, Eugen gets taken out as well. It is a 2-for-1 trade for the side of the Valley right now. Oh, Mobazane is in a little bit of trouble. He's trying to get away here. Cole Ultra catches it, so he's going to be able to get that extra life. Promise trying to get away there as Colwell trying to put on the damage. You can see down at the bottom. Oh, Colwell taken out with that endless shard as well. Fallen not in a good position here between a hard place and the rest of the Valley here. And this is going to give them the opportune moment that they need to be able to go ahead and focus on this Lord.
I gotta say, the Simpsons are trying right now, giving everything they got. This is a match point. Let me reiterate, this is everything on the line, and the Simpsons don't want to lose it.
Yeah, they don't. We have the Lord down to about 1/3 health here right now. Shark kind of latching on to Fallen here. Fallen trying to linger around, be a nuisance here. He wants this Lord. Can he get his retry game up there right now? He doesn't get the Lord! And Hoon takes him down, and so he pays for it in blood. The rest of the team is going to go ahead and disengage here. We do have this Luminous Lord coming through the middle, but are the Simpsons in a position to go ahead and engage here? Look how fast they're able to take down that Lord right now.
Yeah, but I mean, this could buy enough time. This could buy enough time for Cold World to get online. And as long as they can keep getting that, then they will be able to try to make this into a standstill. And yes, the Valley is a little bit up in gold right now, but I wouldn't say the Simpsons are too out yet.
Yeah, but right now, the Fallen, the Thief, you can see they're stealing 4 objectives today. Just amazing plays by him here. I mean, and what more could you ask for here at the live grand finals? This is for it all, and you can see Fallen is leaving it all out here.
I got a feeling that name's gonna go down in history. From now on, every time I cast over Fallen, he is Fallen, the Thief. OSP, you better put that on the jersey because this man is proving himself tonight, making some statements in the Lord Pit, in the Turtle Pit, showing Zane that he's not the only one who can hit that retry button fast.
Yeah, and not just fast, but it's definitely giving them a little bit of breathing room. This is what we were talking about. And Fallen has just been doing an amazing job of it here. We do see that Athena Shield getting picked up by Fallen here. Ooh, we're coming in. Fried Chicken comes in. Coldworld's going to have to disengage. Oh! Blazing Duet comes out. Promise gets taken out. Black Dragon is out. This might be a bad way for them. Coldworld gets taken out from basic there. Ultra comes out. This is not the fight you want for the Simpsons. Arville gets taken out right now. The rest of the Valley in chase. Eugen flapping his wings as fast as he can to try to get out of here. Fallen is alone at mid against 2 members right now. Look at him flying around. Twinkle Toes definitely negating that endless shards from Mobazane, but is he going to be able to get away? Stalking his prey is Mobazane here right now. Is he? Oh, you see the damage coming out a bad way between 2 towers right now. Mobazane putting on the gas. Oh, he turns around on him right now. Fallen is just out all over this place, juking out.
He's walking to the rest though.
He's still on the chase though. Oh my God. Oh, this is not. Don't worry. He comes in on the Mobazane, and the sharks come out. He's still able to dodge it, but gets picked off. There's only so much you can do against 4 members of the Valley.
But that once again buys enough time. Fallen, time after time, has been buying time for his team here. Continuing, and we're just seeing it right now. We're seeing it in Game 6. The Simpsons doing everything they can, pulling out every single play in the book, every move they have, because they want to put on a great show, and that is what we love about them. That is why I've appreciated the Simpsons so much. Even against all odds, they're doing great.
Yeah, Fallen definitely hoisting up this team onto his shoulders, onto his shaky legs, trying to create that space for them. Right now we are at the Turtle. We see the play to do it. Come on here, Coldworld takes the damage. It does not enough. The Valley kind of in a position here. Ooh, look at Arville. Does get taken down a little bit. The Lord has been reset. However, we don't have the rest of the team here for it. They're not going to be... Oh! Mobazane able to pick up that Lord. Eugen able to take down Mobazane here, so he pays for that Lord. with his life, and you have to wonder if this is even advantageous for them, because right now the Simpsons might be in a position to be able to kind of take down this Lord without doing too much damage.
Yeah, they do have the possibilities of that. We're already seeing Fallen make his way down there, right? Make his way towards this Lord to get a little bit of ship damage on it. The Valley taking things very, very slow. And look at Arvel and Shark also making their way down. Now, I don't know if the Valley can finish this here, and I love the standstill between these teams right now. Simpsons, don't bite the bait. Wait, because the Valley is waiting.
Arvel might be in trouble here. You see them coming to latching on. Arvel's going to go ahead and use that flicker. Down comes the feathered airstrike to go ahead and zone out the rest of the Valley there. Oh, but Arvel not stopping. Here comes the circling eagle down, and the call also comes out basic, able to take down Arvel right now, so they do punish that as well. Promise coming in, takes down basic, flickers out as well. On the base. Oh my God, at the base they have that Lord up there. Are they going to be able to stop it? On the base. Can they stop it? Oh my God, the Valley are going to M4.
This is it. The Valley take the series 4-1. The Simpsons had a valiant effort, and what a great final game that was, Private. Look at them. They're ready. They're talking. I mean, the Valley's done it.
Yeah, unfortunately here up at the top, 2 teams come in and only 1 can come out. The Simpsons, we already know, have been a mainstay in North America, so we wish them well on their continued journey. But tonight, the heroes, the team that will be raising that banner of North America in Jakarta, Indonesia, the Valley.
Once again, Mobazane, Fly Chicken, Shark, and now Basic and Hoon. But once again, those 3 members have redeemed themselves. They've recaptured the throne, and they have not had an easy year. It has not been all sunshine, right? They've taken some losses, but they have made it here when it counts, and they have recaptured the throne of America. And ladies and gentlemen, we are sending them off to represent NA, and I personally wouldn't have any other team myself.
Yeah, I mean, what better can you say about North America right now? My only real question is, are they ready in Indonesia for the Valley?
I don't think they are. We'll see. But, I mean, look at this. I love, from beginning to end, from when we got here last Thursday, we've seen these 2 teams just be close, just be friends, and that's what we love to see. Win or lose, both teams were ready to help each other out.
Yeah, I mean, especially up here at the top of North America, most of these teams, the players do know each other, and there's a lot of respect there. No matter what, like we said before, we've been saying over again, North America wins tonight, and no matter what, you want to have the best of the best going up to represent you at M4, and that's where we're going to be getting here.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an amazing night for sure, and they've just been, both teams, such an amazing show. I mean, an amazing venue. The fans have gone crazy from beginning to end. It has not stopped at all. The hype, the excitement. I mean, NA tonight, this has been such an event for us, right?
Yeah, it has. I mean, we've had so much going on here, especially the inaugural, the emotions going through this studio right now and throughout this entire event. And you can see that is what it is all for. The trophy there for the NACT North America representing there. Look at how gorgeous it is. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at these stats though for that final match.
Now, once again, the Valley though, someone different finally, and I think it's a well-earned one at that. Shark with the MVP tonight. Now, Zane, we know he likes to get the MVP all the time, but Shark, man, just the untold hero of the team, man, continues to make those plays happen for the rest of his squad. And I think in the end, though, you got to give it to the whole team, and this is why the Valley won tonight. We talked about it throughout the whole night from start to finish. The Valley works as a unit, and tonight they really proved to me that they have the synergy to go to M4.
Yeah, and that has been a question on them, and hopefully that question has been quelled for most of North America, is that synergy that they have. Can they play together? Can they draft together? And they have been, for the most part, very successful with it. Here, I mean, and even here, like the Mobazane, for all intents and purposes, was kind of shut down as that Amon. Not getting killed, but definitely not able to find the kills as well. However, that's where it comes in with the rest of this team. They're able to cover down for it, able to kind of fill in that hole, those weaknesses, those chinks in the armor, and able to come out and find a very successful game.
Now, you know, we have a nice little treat for the viewers. Once again, we're going to take a replay, but this time we're going to get it from the player's angle, listening in on these comms private. And it's always a pleasure to see how they act when they're in the midst of these team fights.
Nice. No, it happened. Block it. Can you get him? Oh, the base. Oh, base.
Yeah,
The base. And again. Oh, it's the game.
Man, and what an exciting ending to that match as well. It's just and this just kind of shows the different strategies that the Valley are able to kind of implement there. Not having the greatest time when it comes to these objectives, but then using that opportunity. So, all right, so we're losing at the objective, so we need another plan, and that is going to be the split push.
Most definitely, and they executed that very, very well. Now, we have an interview happening on the main stage. Assassin going to be taking it with the team captains.
Thank you, Private Tracks. We're here with your NA champion, the Valley. Let me hear it in the crowd. Woo! Are you excited? Now, standing next to me is the captain of the Valley Basic. How are you feeling right now?
Feeling good, feeling great.
I mean, give me something more.
Shit. I don't know,
All right.
we expected
Zane, give me something. Go.
They put up a better fight than we expected.
That was pretty good. Now I want to ask about all the assassin picks, okay? What about the Harith, on the goal lane? Can you tell me about that pick?
I don't know, Shark just switched me, so I was like, alright.
Blame game right after you win?
We just for fun.
Alright,
yeah, for fun, because it was like 3-0 and we were like, let's try something new. So I tried Harith gold lane right away.
To be honest, I think you did pretty well on Harith, okay? I would have done it. I'm just disappointed there's no Hanzo. So, going forward, what's the plan for M4?
We plan to go to Asia right away as soon as possible to practice over there. But we still gotta do some talking with each other.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is our champion, and we got something special prepared for our champion tonight. We have the head of NA Publishing from Moonton to present our medals, the first ever LAN event. Please welcome Mr. Steve. All right, now we have Steve here. Why don't you go ahead and give us a word or two of wisdom and also the plan for NA Esports going forward.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Dave. It's my pleasure to be here. And I'm very excited because of you. I mean, all of you, our passionate and great community. And okay, first of all, congratulations to our champion, the Team Valley. And also I want to thanks to the Team Simpsons, okay? You two bring us a wonderful game tonight. And then I want to thank to all the audience and all the MLBB players. And also I want to thank to the casters, hosters, referees, and influencers and E-stars, yeah, and all the staff here. I'm very appreciate your efforts, yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Go ahead. Yeah. So a little bit longer, okay? So okay. At this moment, I remember sentences from Neil Armstrong. So when he landed on the moon the first time, he said that that's a small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. So at right now, right place, I just want to say that this final grand final is one small step for the NCT, one giant leap for MLBB North America. So, yeah.
That's right.
So what I mean is that Moulton will always be with you. We are committed to bring more experience and more esports to you, right, next year. And yeah, let's look forward. This is the beginning for M4, and let's show our best wishes to our champion, and show your encourage, show your skills, and then most important is show your North American spirit to the whole world. Good luck, guys. And yeah, finally, in the end, thanks again. And remember, dare to be great, and see you at M4.
Ooh, let's go. Give another round of applause for Steve right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first ever LAN event in North America. Now with that, we come a historical first ever MVP of the LAN event. Take it away, Trax.
Man, oh man, I couldn't have said that better myself. And that just makes me so hyped. Hearing, one of the officials come down here and give a little speech like that definitely hypes not only us up, almost in tears, man. Almost ready for next year, right? Ready for M4. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, we have an MVP coming up. And any guesses?
There's plenty of guesses, but I think both of us know in our hearts deep down who that is going to be.
I was going to say someone else. No, no, it's definitely mobazane. The man has conquered the qualifiers once again. The man is going to M4 once again, and he has all of us behind him. I mean, you see the stats, but the main thing I want to talk about is mobazane.
Yeah, it's been an amazing journey for him, and he has just been a mainstay here in North America ever since he joined the scene. Just been so powerful. His dedication, you can take a look here at the stats here. I mean, even on his worst games and not taking too many deaths, his placement, being able to get away and what he can read into these fights and how he can use some of these characters, even pulling out his favorite Yu Sun Shin tonight as well.
I've said it time and time again that there's just a massive amount of respect for me to mobazane, right? He has this he's got the blinders on, and not in a bad way, man. He's just focused. When he got here to Vegas, he wasn't running all around. It's like, I'm gonna do this. I'm here for a reason. I want M4. And the man does it. He practices all year. Went to several regions this year, to the Philippines, to Indonesia, just to prepare for one event at the end of the year, right? NACTs weren't his problem. Any local stuff, yes, he got a part of it when he was here, but his main goal all along has been tonight, right? Getting there to move on to another even bigger goal of getting revenge and showing that they can be the best. Now, Private, it's been an amazing night. It's been not only a pleasure to cast on these games, but a pleasure to cast with you, see everybody in person. I could not have asked for a better event myself.
I'm kind of sad because I don't want it to end. It's been an amazing journey here, and where we are right now, from behind computer screens in our rooms, casting the amateur events to here.
This is real.
This is real. He's real, and it's just. And I would not rather have any other person to be casting here with me. But it's been an amazing night.
Yeah, so thank you all so much. It has been such a pleasure. The fans, the viewers, the teams, everybody. We're gonna pass it back for the trophy race.
We said it in the beginning, and we said it just now. This is history in the making. The Valley, it's time to raise the trophy. Here are your North America Challenger Tournament fall season champion. This is truly a proud moment for all of us here in North America, as your favorite remain undefeated. They are the champion. They are #1. At the end of the show, we want to give our sincere love and appreciation to all the staffs who worked on NACT fall season to make the magic happen. We also want to thank you, the viewers, for being supporting NACT. But with that, all the best, and we'll see you guys in Jakarta. Good night, North America.